We're live. All right. Okay. So as I was just telling you, my wife, I told her what was going to happen in our Mystery of the Five Hands game last night, and she was like, "Oh, that would have been the best session we've ever had, or at least that I've ever had in playing in one of your games." Because I told her what was supposed to happen and how that's nothing like what actually happened. So there's about 30 of you out there who actually listened to that game last night before I took it down, basically. But yeah. So anyway, this is what was going to happen. So they were going to start off on the road and come across these bullywugs. Now they had two things. They could have gotten to combat, which is what they did, or they could have just kept going and left them where they were, right? So they could have avoided combat altogether, the way I had it set up. They decided to engage in combat, which I thought the only way they would defeat them in combat is if they did a lightning strike into the water and electrocuted all of them, which nobody did. And based on my experience from last Wednesday, I kind of expected them to get their butts kicked, which didn't happen. And I even had reinforcements at one point of giant toads with riders on them. The idea was that they were going to get beat, so all of them had no hit points, so they all thought they were going to be dead. Really, they were non-lethal attacks. And so then a giant frog was going to throw them all up. So what was going to happen is they were going to wake up in pitch blackness and like slime. They were going to feel slime but can't see anything. Even the ones who have dark vision wouldn't be able to make out what the heck is going on because really they're inside of something. Then they would hear this like gurgle, like this, and be spit out in front of the bullywug king. That was Dave from Nerdarchy's idea for what I should have done to him. And I said, yes, perfect, stolen. And so that's what I was going to do. And then they weren't going to have their weapons and armor on them. And a bullywug was going to come up and lay out all the weapons and armor in front of the king, which is going to be a good 80 feet away from where the players were, so they couldn't like go and take it. And then they were going to be captive. Well, obviously the spellcasters can still do some of their stuff, but nobody else can. So then when that happens, they're going to have to find a way to escape. So they would basically get out, use some spears and some bullywug stuff to get their stuff back, and tons of treasure was going to be here, Yeah, so that was the main premise of the adventure. I prepared it up through what still hasn't happened yet, but yeah, so they didn't get kidnapped because they kicked the bullywugs' asses, basically. So then, because I still wanted to give them certain treasure, I said, fuck it, let's just give them a couple guys out in the woods with a trailer or a cart, and again, they can either attack them or not. Now, both situations, if they chose not to encounter, like do any combat, I was going to award bonus experience for non-lethal handling of the encounters, which was actually going to be pretty good. And so, yeah, they ended up starting a fight with them for no apparent reason, which you'll get to in the video. I don't know if you're there yet. I don't think you are. And then, yeah, so after they engage in that combat, they engaged with some zombies. Actually, they engaged with zombies, then they engaged with more zombies, which the zombies were not kicking their ass, but they weren't going down. Like my dice got their mojo back. It was awesome. And yeah, so anyways, the first part though, the bullywug thing, my wife was excited about. She thought that was going to be awesome with the way I told her it was probably going to go. So, but no big deal. We'll see what happens in our next game. And my wife is like, you should still try to do that bullywug encounter like you were talking about. So next time we play, if they finish what they're supposed to, after they come out of that, bullywugs are getting them again. They're going to be surrounded by like 30 of them. And there's going to be no choice but to fight them. And they're getting captive because they're all going to 0 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are those guys always that, like, cautious about stuff? Because I remember when I was watching the video, they walk up to a bridge and that woman's like, what angle does the bridge intersect the hill? How tall is the bridge above the water? Do you think I could slip through the arm rail into the water? Could something come from the water up and like grab through the guardrail?
Yeah, this is the funny thing. Back in my second edition games that I was playing in, we would come up to a fork in a cave, right? I want to listen to the noise coming from if we go right. Okay, I want to listen to what's coming from the noise on the left. And I'd say, let's just go right. So I would just go. Or I'd say, no, seriously, let's just go, guys. Let's quit playing this. And then eventually the DM, like after like 2 more sentences from 2 other people, he'd be like, so what are you guys doing? Are you making a decision or not? Like he'd get all frustrated, kind of like what you heard in the video where he's like, I'm just going to go up forward and fight. But yes, I shouldn't say everyone. His wife is super cautious. She's the one you heard talking about the angle of the bridge or whatever. And then he is extremely impatient and like, I'm rushing into combat. And so honestly, if I could get them both to adjust, it would be amazing. I mean, honestly, when I look back at it, I actually had fun. And the other 2 players had fun. It's just those 2 kind of got on each other's nerves over here. Most of us don't really care about his pushy ways. We kind of blank, you obviously said we kind of tune it out. Whereas her, sometimes we kind of tune her out with the being careful thing, but my wife sometimes piggybacks on the cautious thing. Sometimes, not most of the time. Which you'll see when I film my Pathfinder to 5th edition game, because I'm going to film that next time, and everybody knows. She's not super cautious about stuff. So that should go really well, too, and then you should get an accurate representation of how I run a game at my table. But yeah, so...
Maybe you should get them to play their alignments in real life in the game.
No, that's why the cleric is what she is.
He'd play chaotic dick.
Yeah. No, because in real life he's not like that. He's actually, I've told other people this, he's very calm, he's very responsible, very politically correct with everybody. He's very smart. And I think he sometimes feels superior to others. When it comes to things. He never says it, he doesn't act like it, but there are moments of times where you just kind of sense that he is like that. And he used to be like that from what I've heard. He's told me he used to be kind of like that. In fact, his advice to my wife when she went to college is, you're going to be smarter than about 90% of the people in college. Don't act like it. I don't know why that was his advice, but obviously he had a bad experience with that. So,
but yeah, you're discussing this live? Wow.
Yeah, no. I am.
Right, man.
Well, I explained what was supposed to happen in the session, and before we went on air, I was telling Andrew we had a birthday party at the one player who wasn't here last night. Her husband was here. He was playing the wizard in that game. But their son, it was his 3rd birthday, so we were all at his birthday party today. And I told the fighter, I said, I had one moment of about 5 seconds where I could really say anything. I said, I can't tell if you're in character all the time or if that's just how you are or something like that. And he was like, oh, so that must be a good thing then. And I said, yeah, I don't know. And then I left to get food.
Leave him stewing on that one.
Yeah, so his wife told me today, she's like, I was just really tired. It was weird. She was like, I was just really tired, and I don't think it would have got to me like that normally. And I'm thinking to myself, we had other games where it got to you when he was the DM. I didn't say that, but that's just what I thought. And my wife said she still had fun, so as long as she had fun with that one awkward moment, I don't care then. And as long as the other player had fun during that awkward moment, or in lieu of that awkward moment, I'm fine with that too then. My concern was that everybody had a miserable time, and if they didn't, then I'm fine running it again. But if I feel an awkward moment again, I'm just going to get up and tell them when they feel like being adults, I'll come back and run the game. And let me know when you're done fighting about this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell him, too, he needs to tone it down, quit being so impatient, and, play the game in a cooperative way with everybody else. I'm sure he thinks he's playing his character as this impatient, big, burly fighter guy with a 5 wisdom, but that's no excuse to be disruptive at all. So I'll tell him that. I don't have a problem with that, and we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, I've had situations in the past where people vented their real-life frustrations in a game context and ended up basically antagonizing everybody.
Yeah.
So it's good within reason, but I mean, basically, if you want to enter a fantasy world just to basically be a sociopath, then it's not going to be really much fun for anybody else.
Yeah. And see, I don't think he was he's bringing out of game stuff into it. I just think he is just an impatient person in general. That's just my thoughts. I don't really know, but if I had so
hopefully that it sorts out for you, Juice. I mean, geez.
It'll work out. It'll be all right.
It's your family. It'll be all right.
And I'm so laid back normally that what the heck,
Yeah.
man?
We're always here to vent with. If GM counseling, you can just pop online and hang out with us and get it off your chest. Have a good rant about it.
I did need to last night, so
this is for the players of today's game.
What's that? I missed that.
There's a Snickers bar.
I could treat him to a Snickers bar and be like, Andy, you should have a Snickers or something, whatever the commercials say.
Yeah.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
You're right, except when he got here, he ate a bowl of pasta that was like this big and like that high, because he's got a marathon on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty intense.
He had to carb up so he could be a dick.
He's been carbing up all week, though. Oh,
Maybe that's it. Like his yin and yang is out of whack or something, and he's all yang and he's all yang, no yin.
Maybe.
Yang.
Maybe he's making himself wait for sex, like athletes. You know how athletes supposedly won't do stuff like that before big games?
Yeah,
He
actually,
doesn't want to get weak knees.
I saw what they tested that, and that's actually not true.
Exactly the opposite, because you have less
Totally not
testosterone. Yeah.
Performance goes up with more sex.
I believe the exact opposite of that. You should definitely before you go out. Walking out thinking, yeah.
I agree. I concur.
You heard it here first.
Where is Chepe?
The authority.
He wanted to come into a chat and is not here. Maybe I need to invite him. Maybe that's my problem. There he is. I always get confused by his name. I'm looking for a C, and it's not a C. It's a Joseph. I mean, it's not Fauntrodden.
No, he has many aliases.
Right. So,
Man.
I have 2 things to say tonight. I'm going to say one now. I'll say one later. 2 things. Two. I plan on running an online campaign. I don't know if it's going to be once a week, once every other week. I don't know if it's going to be 5th edition or what, but I plan on running an online campaign coming up soon. I'm still going to run the Monster Race game as well. That'll probably be like a little mini campaign whenever we feel like playing. But I plan on running an online campaign. And it'll probably be this night, so Saturday nights for me, which I think is Friday nights for you, AJ?
Sunday.
Okay, so it's Sunday night for you?
Always in the future.
Okay. And it'll be basically on Saturday nights when I don't have one of my 5th edition games. So, you guys are obviously invited. You're the first ones here. So, you guys are interested. whatever you guys would want to play that I own, I would probably be up for running. So, yeah.
So what time would it be starting, Juice?
Probably a little bit earlier than this chat. Maybe like 9 or 10 Eastern time. Probably 9, and I would say we'd go till midnight. But who knows? Saturday nights sometimes go really late for me. But it just I would say 9 till 12. What's that?
What time is it there now?
Right now it is 11:17. So it would basically go for another 45 minutes and then it would end.
Okay.
That would be midnight.
So it's
What
starting
game-
at about 2 p.m.
What
Sunday.
games do you know?
I'm your Huckleberry.
I have D&D 5th Edition, Palladium
Of course.
Fantasy, Heroes Unlimited, Rifts. You know what? I'll just leave it as those 4 games. I'll run one of those 4 games. That's what I would run. So, I don't know. Yeah.
I didn't play in any of those.
And then 5th edition, yeah. So, I don't know. Whatever people would want to play.
If it's Rifts, I'm going to be a juicer. I'm never changing that class.
That's fine.
Juicer
Have you
begets juicer begets juicer.
I reckon Sean should always play like a crazy mom character.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I could see Sean as a vampire. I don't know
He's
why.
the most
I think it's the
he's the
accent.
most disruptive player that I've ever had in a gaming group. He's great, you know. He's just like constantly in.
Yeah. Yeah, he.
Sorry. Go ahead, Robert.
No, he's awesome, dude. I love playing with him. It's like, yeah, it's like you think like running a game, and he's there, and it's like, oh god, you know what I'm saying? But he's like he's like just enough of personality to, make it fun without going overboard,
Yeah.
Right.
He sort of spurs everybody to like talk over him or get an edge, a word, and so everybody he sort of lifts up the mood by his interactivity with everything.
Yeah, he's great.
By the way, Rob, that voice you were doing reminded me of the voice of the nerd from Robot Chicken.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic nerd voice.
I couldn't get it out of my head.
You've got to watch this game, Jules.
I do.
It's one of the classics. Oh, you did?
No, I said I do need to.
It's
Yeah.
only
to last that long?
it's only an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I know, that was short. That was really short.
Oh, you guys did a great job. I mean, the whole idea was just like it's like a cartoon episode, So it was short, to the point. Nobody dies.
Yeah,
Maximum hilarity.
Well, I rolled 1. He was like critically successful in his oil, so he had or his grease, so he had like a tool to use from then on out. And then you freaking did like what, plus 16 on your damage, right?
It's true.
If I'm not mistaken. There was just 1 takedown, or was it a punch?
He could have easily
it was a tackle.
You did that to a
Could've been
6-year-old, man. Freaking possums.
It's like, I'm going to pull that punch. It's like, that's a good idea. Otherwise, we're talking broken spine.
It's the dulliness of the possum, man. No one ever sees it coming.
Yeah, I put that in the YouTube comments. I was like, this is like the first game in a long time I played where nobody died, not even NPCs. Like, it was
Especially in
really
a Palladium game. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't really, it had the potential to go that way, I suppose.
Yeah, no, that was great, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. I loved how everything was just on theme the entire time. Everybody was like right into the mood of it,
Yeah.
which is great.
It's
It's
pretty
literally
easy to
what-
play comedy games, and based on what I heard, it's based on the Tick, so it's got to be a comedy game anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought AJ adjudicated it like perfectly though. He made everybody's powers useful. It was a fine balancing act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even Bearded Justice.
Yeah.
That was great.
He had his little moment with the swinging the gum around.
Blasting back the crowd with his beard.
Too bad we don't know an animator or something that could.
Yeah, no, right?
They got animated short about that game.
Well,
Well,
I could probably do something like that if I had the time. I think that it's fine as is. I mean, it's short enough to be watchable, so it doesn't really need a huge amount of enhancement. I suppose you could. I could throw in some, like, splice in some images.
If it was truly good enough, you could just get someone to just draw a bunch of comic strip kind of style panels and then just do a voiceover.
I just think all the characters are like completely just awesome. Like everybody's character was, and all together it was just, I don't know, it was cool. Really cool.
I would have no problem with somebody in the future going back through some of these old live games and, like, just grabbing it as the audio and doing an animation sequence or something like that. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like that Mountain Dew D&D thing. Here we go.
You're right, Andrew. They did kind of rip me on that thread in the brigade.
Dude, they were dogpiling on you. Like, when I was reading it, I was like, what the fuck?
All because I wouldn't allow spell crits because I read the rules wrong. And
I read that.
I admitted.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I admitted I read the rules wrong because it's not clearly stated under crits. You have to read 2 different pages for the exact. Like, okay, I'll even refer to it. It's page 194. And somebody else had to point this out to me, and that's fine. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm not too stubborn. But it's at the top of 194, I believe. If there's ever any question whether something you're doing counts as an attack, the rule is simple. If you're making an attack roll, you're making an attack. So in other words, when it's a spell, and you're making an attack roll with the spell, so a d20, that's an attack, right? So there you go. So now we know that a spell roll is an attack. Now, under critical hits, it clearly states when you score a critical hit, you got to roll extra dice for the attack's damage against it. Blah, 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 blah. Well, all the attack's damage dice twice. That's not where it says it. Where does it say it?
I got him posted to the right, Juice.
Yeah, there you go. So he just posted it. So there you go. But long story short, I admitted I was wrong, and I'm fine with that.
So your wife disagreeing with your GM's decision brings it to a public forum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I told her.
Where you are dragged through the public coals.
Oh yeah, I told her to, and it was fine. Because I told her I might do it.
Juice, all the good times we had together, all the rapport we've built, just throw it straight out the window the moment a girl shows up. I don't even know she's your wife. They're just like, who is this? Yeah, Juice obviously wrong.
They're like, it's a girl. We gotta side with her. But no, I mean, I said it in the thread I was wrong, and then some people still kept going on about it.
Robert, you okay?
And then
Yeah, my camera fell.
it was just funny to me though that they kept doing that, and then all these people too also in the past have said, oh well, ultimately it's the DM's decision. Well, now they're saying, oh well, it needs to be what's best for the table. First of all, if they watch the damn game, they know that I need to be I need to be the authority figure basically, because I need to lay down the law regardless of what my ruling is and how right it is.
So this was a player shooting a spell at another. Was it an offensive spell?
Yeah, I had 2 players last night roll a d20 to hit on 2 different spells, and they critted at different times, and I said you can't crit on a spell. That was just my ruling on it. I was wrong. But later on, I had one of them critically fail an aimed shot. They rolled a 1. They were shooting at an enemy, and I said, okay, roll for armor class of your friendly who's between you and the monster. because it was right there. And they're like, well, that's not fair. I can't critically succeed. Why can I critically fail? And I said, because you're shooting something out. Like, to me, it made sense. So, anyways, they missed, and it was all fine. But then they still complained about it. You'll hear it in the game. They still complained about it for a minute.
It'd be like throwing a net, you know. You can't really critically hit with a net. You either are on target with a net or not. But you can critically fail with throwing a net because it can get somebody else, or it could...
Here's the best part. So I had 2 people message me today and say, you do realize in 5th edition there aren't critical fails, right? Okay. Did I...
Screw you and you're feeling good. Everybody's a winner.
Yeah. I enjoy critical fails.
Screw you, especially if you're a halfling, because you never get to have one.
Right. So what? I don't know. It was like, whatever.
That's the Kumbaya camp of D&D. The circle jerk camp.
The circle jerk camp.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a certificate for participating. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Hey, there's no traps in D&D 5th edition so far either.
Right. Actually, there might be in the DM's PDF. I haven't looked yet at that for that. There's magic items in the DM's PDF that's free.
All I know is I have different kinds of saving throws to play with.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm going to look in the first published module to see if there's any traps there. See, Horde of the Dragon Queen, are there any traps?
Yeah, that's the question.
Oh, of course. There are.
Do we have an index? No.
Of course.
There was definitely traps in Phandelver.
Yeah.
That's true, too. And magic items.
Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. Gotta have it. It's a must.
Oh, so did you guys hear the magic items I gave them last night?
No.
Yeah, is it on this pad of paper? I don't know where the pad of paper is. I gave them 2 potions of vigor. What else did I give them? Goggles of night or whatever, so one person can see at night to get rid of the bitching about the candle fire, or whatever. A maul +1, which today I told them I'm calling it a lunar maul, so it only works at nighttime. So
nice.
While they're sleeping, if they have combat, that's the only time it'll be a +1. And then what else? Something else I gave them. Oh, gloves of climbing and swimming. So, like, stuff that can be useful in the right situations.
That's how I prefer my magic items anyway.
Yeah, I don't like to say, oh, you got this and it works all the time, and then boom. You know? Or sometimes... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In my other game, I gave them an arrow, my Pathfinder to 5e. I gave them 1 arrow that's a key, but it's also an elemental arrow. And what I mean by that is it'll kill, or if it hits an elemental, it forces them to make a death saving throw. The problem is it's only 1 arrow, and they know at some point they're going to have to go into this temple of elementals. So there's going to be a ton of elementals. So they're going to use it. They're going to have to go and pick it up every time they use it, or hope that they still have it. And I'm hoping that they use it pretty early on, because later on when they really need it, we'll see what happens.
If I got that arrow, I would fucking go hunt the Princes of Elemental Evil. I'd be shooting at Cryonex, I'd be shooting at Ogremok, Imix, one by one.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we've got a Rug of Smothering, which is bolded, but not actually described what it does, which is stupid.
That's an awesome manual.
The other one is a Test Padlock, which has got a Poison Needle Trap, and it's a successful DC 20 Dexterity check. Needle can be found with a DC 20 Intelligence Investigation check. Can be disarmed with a successful DC 15 Dexterity check, and triggering it. Failing the dexterity check by 5 or more is injected with Wyvern Poison and must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, taking 24 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. So there you go.
Wow.
That's how they handle traps. Basically, a wall of proficiency checks and stuff. and then critical damage.
I just have 2 logs come down and make them they can dex check them about the way.
It's like jump out of the way or get crushed into a breaks it.
You're dead.
Yeah, you become a Poppadom.
Thanks.
You know what the problem is? You started with Palladium, and you're so used to house ruling and people not caring.
Yeah.
No, it's not
No
that
such thing as playing loose. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that's in the book, I'm sure, somewhere. And
Yeah.
I don't know what page, because it's not ever where it should be.
Or
Like, where did I find that hit
Impossible.
point rule last night? Under SDC or something? It wasn't under modern combat. It wasn't under gun damage. It was under SDC.
SDC.
Yeah.
Why would
It's
that
like with
be?
Mitchell's character's got a mask over him and he's getting inflicted with a non-lethal poison. I said, oh, what's your saving throw? And he goes like, +10. I'm like, and I'm like hell it is, but whatever. So roll a dice. Roll a dice. Because, you've been playing Palladium long enough, you go, +10 versus non-lethal.
It's not
Well,
possible. It's got to be like a +3 or 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Unless he's got like one of those really awesome super abilities that he doesn't have.
Yeah, but I mean, if that had happened to him, it would have been not as much fun. It would have dragged.
But
down
he
his enjoyment.
always knows what time it is.
What do you mean?
Diddle time.
What?
Mhm.
Oh,
Diddle
that
time.
was his character, the Diddle.
Mr. Diddle.
I caught that name. I was like, oh.
He has
Dude.
2 watches on both arms, but there are no numbers. It's only Diddle written on all of.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. His character was actually a superhero. He's a physical training power category, so he's got a physical endurance of like 27. So it is entirely possible that he's got a very, very high save versus toxins.
Well, he
I
did
stand-
like.
I stand corrected.
Mitchell's
He did-
dastardly, man. In every game, he's working some angle.
Does he ever? Okay, Mitchell, I hope you're watching this. Maybe you can answer it in the comments below. But do you ever get a damn rule correct? Or anything? I'm wondering, because I feel like every game I've watched you in, it's like
No,
something
dude,
comes up and you're wrong about the rule. Like,
Well, look,
dude,
first
he's
of all,
right about it. He finds the loopholes, man. He's like
and
the.
he says
Yeah.
it so matter of fact, like he knows what's up.
But he does.
He
I got no
studies that
problem.
shit like it's the bar exam.
it's like the first Palladium game he jumped into was my my first one, and like as far as I know, he's only a few games in, so there's no. And everything that he did in the game was perfectly fine, fine. Yeah, didn't interrupt game flow at all, and I didn't make an issue of it. But I'm like, yeah, everybody else has got like no powers. His character is a superhero, definitely a diddler.
So basically, he didn't make a tick character.
He made like
He made a
Marvel Civil War
superhero that's
character.
themed like a Tick character.
yeah. There is a character in the Tick, which is the Tick versus the Tick episode, where there's this guy who's actually a reformed gun-toting crazy who's modelled on the Punisher,
Yeah.
who sort of reforms and he's like, you can settle things without guns. And so he's a super strong character. Like he is a physical training character that just happens to tote around tons and tons of weapons, perfectly suited for Palladium, I should say.
Yes.
So what's your superpower? Guns. So his character, the Diddler, Mr. Diddles, was quite a well thought out character, and he would work in a regular Palladium game. He's got an SDC of like 164. You know, he's a physical training character. He's got a power punch and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he could have waded through that crowd of hypnotized townsfolk quite well.
Yeah.
Considering he tripped someone so hard they switched personalities.
Yeah, he
I'm just saying.
cloaked Sean's character in the back of his head and switched his personality. That was hilarious.
Now, he got us killed in Sean's Rift game. Because, I mean, technically Juve killed us because he set off the chain reaction with his missiles.
But it was the bike.
It was the bike. Because what Mitchell did was he's like, I'm going to shoot it with my rocket pod. And Sean was like, how do you have rockets left, dude? He's like, I've got like 16 rockets. And he's like, where are these rockets at? And he goes, oh, they're all over my bike. And he's like, your bike is going to blow up. And he's like, oh. And Sean's like, see, motherfucker, you're over here trying to fucking power game, trying to tell me
Yeah,
this.
you
tell
fucking
me that.
power game min-maxer. The fuck, man? Of course it's gonna blow up. That's all I remember him acting like. I was like, oh, damn.
It was really funny. Totally worth it.
Yeah, he loves his moments. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
He's
Did you
really
guys
funny.
play Rifts today with Sean? Oh yeah, that's right. He ran it, but he said he
Yup.
didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I had my new character. I had a juicer. I've seen the light. I'm never going back.
Was he Mexican?
I taught Andrew the
That's what I want to know.
maxing in Palladium. That's all.
He's like, I will tell you one thing and it'll change your life.
And it worked.
Dodge. Thank you, Juice.
You're welcome. And now Andrew is a Palladium believer.
I am. I was doing the entire game. Nothing could hit me. It was just all ninjutsu shit, and then I could. I mean, I didn't hit anything either, but.
That's the best when you can't hit something. When you waste your good rolls on defense.
See, I was a sucker too. Like the first Rifts game I played, in the second one, I played a headhunter, which is just massively weaker than this juicer. I was in dire straits.
Yeah. Oh.
Like the first round of combat we did, I almost died in the first game. Still on my bike. We like rode up on some coalition shit. We did a round of combat, and my guy had like, I don't know, 15 mega damage left. I was like hanging over the edge of my bike like a wounded cowboy. Like I've been shot by an arrow while it flies off into the distance.
Who was running this game? Was it Sean again?
Yeah, it was Sean.
When was that? Yesterday?
It was this morning actually.
This morning.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
really early.
I think AJ should run a Rifts game. I would love to play in a Rifts game run by AJ, I think.
Tell you what, I will run a Phased World game, or a Scrapers game, not necessarily Rifts.
I don't have any of those books.
You don't need them.
Use a Rifts character. Or actually, would you let me make a Heroes Unlimited character and port it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna do.
Phased World.
Concepts I'd like to use.
Phased World takes like the idea of Rifts and sort of puts it in a. It's like the Palladium version of Planescape, almost in a way.
Oh, I'm thinking
So
of Wormwood. Sorry.
Yeah. No, Wormwood is.
It's like a fantasy Rifts type of deal.
Yeah.
When you said
was
Wormwood, I was
weird.
thinking Doctor Who.
Nope. Not Doctor Who. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Phase World is, you've got a world called Center, which is basically, it's like at the center of the universe, and it's a world which is at peak Leline activity and kind of maintained that way by these this ancient race called the Prometheans, who are these big sort of walking stone dudes. And it is kind of like Sigil, the City of Doors, and the Planescape setting, except it's an intergalactic, high space opera fantasy sort of thing, using everything that the Palladium Megaverse has to offer. So you can literally throw anything in there, kind of like Rifts. And you have the 3 galaxies and all that sort of stuff. So you can go anywhere with that. And I like it as a result. But you can also opt to keep it non-MDC, which is nice because I find MDC slightly hard to adjudicate when you've got everything involved. Because otherwise everybody ends up into the teeth with maximum guns, and it basically becomes about how many guns has your character got?
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Mitchell's guy has like 15 guns.
Yeah. And then you have, like, because you got Cosmic Knights as well, like, those guys are pretty cool. They're like...
Yeah, they are like
intergalactic
top things in that, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like the Green Lantern Corps, basically.
That's sweet.
I know a little bit about it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's exactly that. It's just basically Rifts taken to the extreme of high fantasy space opera.
Because it's not extreme enough as it is.
No. This is where you get guys who can actually throw down with the alien intelligences and things like that. So, yeah.
Right.
No upper limit at all. You can take on gods. You can be a demigod.
Yeah, I love it though. That's what makes Rift so cool. You can do anything with it. It's so awesome. It really is an awesome game.
Yeah.
That's what I really liked about Planescape and D&D was just that you could do anything.
Mm-hmm. And the lingo and stuff that goes into it too. The whole feel of Planescape is pretty cool.
Hey there, coulda.
Hey, coulda. You scrubs.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Scribe you in the dead book.
I never played Planescape either. There's so many games or things I haven't played.
The lingo is kind of like a specific, like trucker CB radio speak, in a way.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of it too. That game has a lot of jargon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's fun once everybody gets into it. At first, people are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Oh, what? Come on. Alright, now let me... Sorry, I'm messing with a picture for my thumbnail picture. Dang it. It's not working. I don't understand how Photoshop works sometimes. It messes with me.
Oh, here we go. There's an actual dictionary of the cant from Planescape. I'll put it in the chat. That's crazy.
There we go. Jackpot! I did it! So anyways, the other thing I was going to say earlier that I plan on doing, and it's based on Chepe and his talking earlier about different ways to use spell crits and things like that. I'm going to make a chart, like a critical hit chart for spells, and probably a critical fail chart for spells. And yeah, I'll put it up on like one of those drive-through RPG things probably. And
would you have it something like? Would you have it something like the random spell effects from the wild spells?
Yeah, it would be various things. Like Chepe had some good ideas. Like if you roll a critical hit with a spell, of first level or higher, it wouldn't use a spell slot. Maybe would be one of them. Basically, it's like you did it almost as like a cantrip that one time, or maybe. I mean, you could do various things. I love Chepe's ideas, and so I'm going to brainstorm some stuff tomorrow. Because I can't imagine it'll take me too long to type something up and come up with a list of some cool things. So
yeah, because at higher levels you get to use a spell without using a spell slot and things like that. So there's no reason why if you've got a really good, if you've got a critical success, that sort of effect happens prematurely.
Right. Yeah.
What if the spell had a legendary effect that was specified in the spell, but you only get it if you crit the roll?
That's actually what I was suggesting.
And it's only specific to that spell.
Mm-hmm. That's actually what my comment was about.
Right. No, that is exactly what he said. But I wouldn't necessarily make it this like spell specific because I'm not coming up with however many spells are in the book that many different things. I refuse to. So I would just, make a random chart.
Because I was actually
for any game.
Like a few days ago, I was throwing around the ideas of having legendary spells. There's only like spells so powerful, only one person in an entire setting can have it at a time.
Yeah.
The only way to get the spell is to kill the NPC that currently has it, and then re-find it in the world when it remanifests.
That's got a very kung fu feel to it too. It's like I must hunt down the master of this spell. So
you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the 2nd edition Druid. How you had to kill like your master druid or something. in order to become like a master druid at whatever level it was.
Oh, I love
Challenge.
stuff like that. So good.
Yeah, I think that was the only way to get to level 12 as a druid in 2nd edition, if I remember correctly.
That makes sense. It's like, hey, we level up. Oh, no.
Oh, you can't. You gotta go kill the master druid now.
Travel back to the grove, the sacred grove, and take out Longbeard Sharptooth, the shifted druid master. It's like, oh man.
Right.
In order to level up again, you have to go and find somebody even more powerful. Steal his juju.
You know, that I'm curious now, because I wonder if you can level up past that once you're the master druid. I don't think you can in that.
Maybe you can have a medicine bag and you have to add successive stuff to it. Like it has to now, in order to level up and gain the next level of power, you need a full set of dragon teeth, in there, or you need an eyeball from a gibbering mouther,
Right. There you go.
Stuff like that is so fun. I house ruled my 4th edition game that if a fighter wants to become a Kensai, you have to attune your blade by throwing it up in the air and sticking your arm out and letting the blade fall randomly at it to see if it severs your arm. I had a fighter take me up on it, and he became armless.
Oh no! That reminds me, actually, there was something in the article that I wrote about the Blade Mage that was pretty much like that. Attuning yourself to a blade, you actually stick the blade in yourself, and it can kill you.
That is sweet.
No, I haven't actually looked through feats, and I'm realizing these things are really good.
Oh, you haven't looked at them at all?
I haven't looked at the feats at all yet. No.
Dude,
Ah,
they're amazing.
they are amazing. Oh, here it is, the Ritual of Repromita. Repromita.
I'm so glad they had Mage Slayer. I'm so glad they actually put that as just all the benefits that builds that people normally have with like multiple feats. They just stuck together in one. I'm just like, so much simpler.
Yeah, yeah, like mini trees right there. So this is a ritual that turns a blade into a mega damage lesser rune weapon by basically tying it to the life force of the mage who creates it. So he sticks the blade in his body and suffers extreme pain binding his life force into the blade itself like a phylactery. And essentially, yeah, he becomes part of the blade becomes part of him.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So you created Blade Mage, period?
Yeah, that's from the Rifter 23.
Yeah. I've seen that elsewhere, though. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, one of the most loved and hated classes ever.
Yep.
It's like, to all my detractors, I'd just like to say, you're not playing it right.
Toothpick was a good touch.
Yeah.
You're not playing it right. Sticks it in.
Have you guys been checking out Tim's clerics, his different domains? That's kind of interesting. I like those. I mean, he says they're not balanced and stuff, but I think that's still pretty cool. I could care less about balance, so.
Hey.
Hey, Viking TM.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Excellente.
Good man.
As they say in Norway, hello.
I heard something about an eyeball of a gibbering mouther, and I don't know what the heck was going on.
Someone was getting a gibbering mouther on their eyeball.
Oh,
I don't know what that is, but I'll pay $20 for it.
If you
Sounds
don't
good.
know what it is, you probably can't afford it.
Throw it on eBay, see what happens.
Okay. If
I
I haven't heard of it, then you know it's good.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, it's a D&D miniature. Let's do it.
It's just an eyeball.
It's just an eyeball. Pay $20 for a little eyeball.
One of those ping pong balls that's painted like an eyeball for Halloween.
just want to look good.
Alright, Juice, what we do is we start mass producing independent like PDFs and just keep name dropping them to Shepe. He'll be like, what is that?
I love it.
Yeah. Have you heard of this one?
Actually, yeah, we should create our own RPG systems and sell them to Chepe. Dude, we
I
could be
got a few.
rich.
Oh, okay.
What was the one we were talking about the other day, Chepe? Was it mental
Meta the
illness
RPG.
or terminal illness?
Oh, terminal illness or meta the RPG? Which one are you talking about?
Meta.
Terminal illness.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Oh, what was it? I can't remember. What was the name of that? It was like that term.
Pataphor.
Pataphor.
Yeah.
Pataphor.
So this is an assumption based on an assumption, or a beyond meta.
Yes. What was the name of the measurement for how far away from reality it is?
A Cule.
Oh, yeah.
A Cule. That
Cule,
needs to be one of the stats in the game.
Yeah. They're like picking
There, everybody listen.
I hear football.
Oh. That's the best I can
4th and 15. It got me excited over here.
Now, Chepe, were you saying? I thought I read somewhere on the forums you were talking about doing some Alice in Wonderland acid trip RPG.
Yes.
Alice in Wonderland acid RPG. This is.
I got a few. I got a few different options for those.
Sounds like I'm running.
I think I made a gum back. And all of the people here who played with me just recently know what I'm talking about.
I was actually talking about you earlier on, Sean. I said you're the most delightful, disruptive player that I've ever had in my games.
If I'm too trolly, just put down the finger of the gods as I call it.
It's perfect. You never cross the line. That's what's
yeah. I'm a troll dealing specialist, so don't worry about it.
I had so many trolls in my games and my good friends that I love, and I just wanted to proverbially just I always say when they're really pissing off, the finger of God is swirling above you, about to squish you.
Monty Python foot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, if your character was mouthing off too much, there was always a mask that could have.
You know what? It's like he never freezes the whole time until you really gets into something interesting in it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right when you really want to hear what he says.
Right.
I was saying if your character was pissing me off, there was a mask that could have popped out of the sky and just.
Oh yeah. Especially in that game, anything could have really happened. We got into a point where it was pretty redonkulous.
My favourite bit was when you guys were speeding off to the centre of town, all of you piled onto one Segway.
Yeah.
I love when you said when you want to do the personality switch. That was great. And
Yeah.
thanks again for running a really great game. And it was just a bit over an hour, and it's really fun-packed hour.
Yeah. I figure any longer than that, you guys would have just burnt out. Or I would have.
You can only do that so long, before it's
Yeah.
okay, we get it, yada yada,
Yeah.
whoop-de-doo.
The slapstick, yeah.
Just over an hour. I can actually sit down and watch that in one sitting.
I know, it's not 5 hours long.
I'd be happy to run one of those again. I think that was the perfect one-shot. Somebody talks about it the night before, put it out there, let's run a game, get a whole heap of people that are really enthusiastic about it, make up just a complete bullshit madhouse bunch of characters, blast the concept for an hour or so with maximum enthusiasm, and then quit. That's it.
That's how I had with my Action Hero Fighter game. I gotta fucking run the game now. Before even the Brigade Con, I gotta just run it just like that. The longest game for Action Hero Fighter was 2 hours, and most of the time it was an hour and a half, and we're done. And we had a completed storyline, and it just always worked out that way because I said I'm gonna make the game so simple that you can run it and play it when you're drunk. That's the goal. I mean, it's still very rough around the edges, but that's why I need to run it, and I need other people to run it, So.
You can play 5e intoxicated. That works great.
Yeah,
My Chosen game is going to be perfect. You guys want to hear about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what's going to happen. Everyone's making their own characters, right? 4th level and everything. So they're going to be out in the wilderness. They're going to make a dex check. Anyone who fails it is eaten by a purple worm within 5 minutes of the game. Yep. Anyone who survives has to make another dex check, and if not, they get eaten by a purple worm, the other purple worm, and that's it. That's my game. The end.
It's a great game. It's just like you know what's the shortest dungeon of the world? The player opens up the door. And they say,
The
okay.
Mines of Madness.
No, they open up the door. They step in. They fall into a bottomless pit. End of the game. Shortest dungeon in the world.
See, I've had it to where they can't even get inside the dungeon.
Yeah, it's just the door.
They just all
I
die.
know.
No, they don't even get to the door. They die like 50 feet from the door.
Oh, that's even better. I had players freaking. Well, I had a group where they got paranoid about doors. Yeah.
That's a good paranoia.
I had people lose limbs on doors and stuff like that.
I
And I
believe
wasn't like
Tom.
nice. What?
You are the king of TPK.
No, I'm not. What happened in the
That's-
real
that's Duvet.
team.
That was Gervais' fault. That was the Rex apocalypse. That's what it was.
Rexocalypse, you mean?
Yeah. That was rightly balanced. They could have defeated the monsters without getting killed.
So okay,
Yeah.
his
That-
name is Rex Apocalypse, right?
Well, his name was
Rexocalypse.
just Rex. I just invented the term Rexocalypse or whatever because it was literally that. It was over 800 mega damage, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small nuclear explosion. That's what it is.
And now we have Alex Gedden, his second character, who's queuing up to PKS again.
I love how he asked, I got rockets. Yeah, is anybody in front of me? I'm going to use the flamethrower. I got missiles. That is like a curse word now. Is missiles. They do more damage than literally the players do more damage than the monsters that stand on them.
This is totally true. In a Rifts game, I designed a power armor, a robotic suit. It was a bit bigger than power armor, kind of like a Jaeger from Rifts NGR, and it was called the Missileer. And basically, all it did was fired off volleys of mini missiles.
There he goes.
Interesting.
That would just take off. It would take off these chains of the things, lock them in, and then just go, and then.
Mini
it was-
missiles. Sorry. But mini missiles are such a deceptive word. You know, it's just mini in it. It's like minigun. There's nothing
Yeah.
mini about that gun. Look, it makes sense. That thing. Have you seen that? When the bullets fly, it looks like laser beams. That thing can destroy anything. It's insane, and that's a real life. That's a mega damage weapon in real life.
Oh yeah.
Minigun. How did that word come to be?
Yeah, the mini missiles and rifts are absolutely devastating.
We know. We know.
Poor Jace, rest in pieces.
The fact that Mitchell survived that somehow with the critical success, it was like I told him you have to like sacrifice something to your gods and thank them. Oh. But yeah, Palladium, what you gonna do? Big boom.
Got a lot of big successes that session. You kept nailing your dances.
Oh yeah.
The grease worked perfectly, just magically, and then I rolled a 1 on my electronics check. Freaking Andrew with his plus 16. Damn it. Just everything.
All my characters have, like, inhuman strength for some reason.
See, I don't care what anybody says, man. Palladium runs smoothly.
Yeah.
That was my first game of Palladium ever. It seemed to run perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to get too bogged down in things, eh? If you get stuck with somebody who's really nitpicky about everything, it can be a nightmare because a lot of those rules can conflict and be a bit hard to interpret at times.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing it for fun and rule story and narrative oriented, then it's a great game. It's a great game.
Yep. And if you want to get technical, you can.
You can. Yeah.
What I did with Rifts, I basically wrote down I read through the rules and I took out all the rules that I needed, but I wrote them down like how to shoot, how to do close combat in the most basic form ever, and that's all I need really. And then you have skill checks, and then magic and psionics is just you remove you use the spell and then you remove from the pool. That's it. So that's easy as pie.
This is my DM's note sheets from that game today. The stats and the character names. That's it.
I don't even write that down usually when it's a Palladium game. I just wing it. Like,
Just
you shot
wing
him, he's dead.
Yeah.
What was that kid stats, AJ? The one that I tackled?
He was like a 7-year-old kid. He doesn't have stats.
See?
Okay, this is
That's ageist.
6 hit points and 10 SDC.
If that, yeah. I think there's stats for kids in Beyond the Supernatural or possibly even the DM's guide. But yeah, kids basically don't have stats. You're just going to paste them. If you do anything physical to a kid, that's it.
I'm glad that was the possum and not Johnny Millennium, because then I would have punched a whole lot of him.
Do you guys want children's stats? Seriously?
Well, Sean would probably make a child that kills the party or takes the limbs off.
I'll pull kids' stats for you.
Okay.
These are my notes for today's Rifts game. What is it here? And here, this 2.5 pages. I actually write it down, all the hit points and stuff, but I don't write all the attributes down that are not necessary.
Hey, that game that we're playing tomorrow. This is what I got.
Blank sheet.
Blank.
You know, I used to play every game back in the day, especially GURPS and then D&D, and I used to pull it. But nowadays, I like a little bit of planning, and then I wing around that planning. You know, like I have a basic structure to fall back to, and I had actually more planned.
Okay, I got some stats for you guys. We'll start with teenagers, and we'll work younger.
Where are you getting this from?
Heroes Unlimited GM's Guide.
Oh, really?
Yep. Page 25, bottom left.
I need to get
Teenagers
that.
have an average of 2d6 hit points plus physical endurance attribute number. SDC is 1d6 plus 10. Children have only 1d6 plus physical endurance attribute number. SDC is 1d6 plus 2. Senior citizens have an average of 2d6 plus 12 hit points plus physical endurance attribute number. SDC is 1d6 plus 2.
That seems really sturdy for an old fogey.
Yeah.
You know,
Just as sturdy as a child.
I just thought about an idea playing like a Golden Age superhero who was in World War II. And he was like, oh, I remember the time and everything. You know, like,
The Super Golden Girls.
Sorry, AJ, I had to go rules lawyer on you again.
That's fine. I mean, I've got the book right here. I just couldn't find it somewhere. I just remember that image of like, we are normal people.
You know what's funny? I think I've read that maybe once ever in my life, so I have no idea how I remembered exactly where that was.
It's your DMing skills, man.
Or why? It's not like I ever wrote that down.
That's the first thing Juice looks for in a system. Stats for killing children.
Killing children right here on Live Chat with Juice. Coming soon. Juice eats hot guy making out. Coming back.
You heard it here first.
Remember
Everybody wants to watch us all play. Hot guys making out with Fox Winter.
Oh, with Fox Winter, there we go. Be
No.
prepared for puns, for puntastic puns.
If we
I
bring
got-
Fox into this, it's gonna be hot guy ponies making out with hot guy ponies.
Well, the only person in this that owns Hot Guys Making Out is Fox Winter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he owns that. You were there, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you
the
did
only
that
one. Juice, I got the
Yeah, I
perfect game
remember.
for you.
Uh-oh. What is it? Uh-oh. That's never good when Chuck
It's made. I bet it's
now he's
made.
standing up.
You think
That's
it's made? That anime game or
Dear
something?
Kevin Simbita, my friends and I would like to know exactly how many children would have to be standing in a row to stop a railgun round, and how many children would be killed as it passes through their young bodies. Yours sincerely,
Is it made?
Hughes.
Yeah.
I have something really awesome to tell you guys about Maid. If we play it, Philip Posey said he is going to cosplay a Maid.
Oh, geez.
Fine.
I'm
We have to
serious.
play now.
Not a joke. He said it.
I had a friend who was in my group who played Maid, and he told me about how it worked and stuff, and it was like, I don't know. I would probably, it could be funny, but it's like it felt very restricting,
Well, every aspects of your character is rolled randomly by default.
Yeah.
So
So
that's part of the thing.
I don't mind rolling down the line, but it's also like, okay, you have only this one choice. You're like a maid, and I'm like, okay, but it's
But
go
you
clean
can be a
houses,
good
man.
maid
That's
or a
your job.
bad maid.
there we go. I'll be a French maid. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
I'd play
That's
it.
an option. That's an option.
Of course it is.
You've been naughty boy, naughty boy.
Of course, you will never be just a French maid. You will be like a French maid that's part mech and has a cat accent.
Take
I'll
it
be
up
Why
to the
can I be
best.
a maid that's missing her teeth and is more like hillbilly maid?
Yes,
No,
that's
Like,
probably an
maid.
option.
I'll be old maid.
How about the maid from the Jetsons?
I would have made
You don't get
Family
to
What
Feud
maid?
Mexican woman.
All right,
Yeah.
Jetsons RPG. Who's doing it?
Jetsons? I can do it. We'll do that with either Savage Worlds or with Fate.
There's actually there's one RPG system that I find interesting. I want to try it out. That it says it simulates Saturday morning cartoons. Let's play some freaking G.I. Joe or something. Let's invent some or Masters of the Universe. That's something I want to try.
Hey, you remember
There is a-
Mask?
What?
There is an old RPG called Toon that I used to own way
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day, and that's like Warner Brothers style cartoon.
I want to play that. I know that because I'm a big fan of Steven Jackson, because I was a huge GURPS guy. I haven't played it yet, but I will run that game one of these days. I will run that because that is a dream of mine. But that's also, like, as you said, a 1 hour game at most. So
Car Wars, that was a
What
great
about
game too.
Monopoly, the RPG?
Ooh.
No, I got
Bullshit.
something that you could do that with, though.
Oh, dude!
I can't believe they made a movie out of
Triple D,
Battleship.
man.
What's that?
Triple
What are
D.
you saying, Andrew?
Oh no, I was just saying Triple D would be all over that because he's all about the factions. There's lots of factions in Monopoly, dude. Just think about it.
The different color properties?
All those boardroom meetings, all the underhanded politics.
actually,
NJ.
Monopoly
Yo.
move apparently.
Can you see this?
Oh, Ogre, nice. That's also Steve Jackson. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
like strategy game.
You have to own that game. Your name is Ogre.
Exactly. Still in the package.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I was gonna change that to my my avatar.
I'm just reading Ogre. Robert.
Mhm.
Math would be totally kick-ass.
Yes.
I love Mask. Mask. I had what did I have? I didn't have the really cool. My friends, my rich friends, had always the better toys, but I had.
Yeah.
I think I had one car. Or
I had the
or
motorcycle, the boat
green
motorcycle.
one with the chopper. I
Yeah.
wanted the plane. The plane of the evil guy was the ultimate thing. I was like, fuck the good guys. The evil guys have always better stuff.
I know, and everything, even G.I. Joe.
The Cobra, come on, Cobra already.
Yeah. Dude, the best thing I had from that was the Zartan set. Remember Zartan had the little boat?
The way how we would have to play these games, also like He-Man or G.I. Joe, you design your character as an action figure, and then that's how you give the attributes. Okay. So you make like a guy who can like his like a big claw or something that would work well as a toy, and then this is how you have to put it in stats or something. You know, like claw man or some like claw.
Action figure wars. That'd be awesome.
There we go.
That's the way I got into sculpture when I was a kid. I didn't have action figures, so I used to make things out of plasticine.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah. I ended up with this huge bag of accessories that I'd made for my figures. So I had like swords and nunchucks. I had nunchucks with working chain and stuff.
Awesome.
All the armor stuck onto the actual plasticine figures. I like that you could like have a fight with them and they would actually stick each other with swords and things and have arrows and things sticking at them. And then afterwards you just put them back together again.
There was one He-Man figure called Ninjor that had a ninja sword. You could actually take off his costume and then you would have his face. And he was one of my favorites because he had also a nunchuck with a real chain. It was a little chain.
The only He-Man figure I ever owned was a skunk figure, and it stunk. It was nasty.
Stinkor was so
fucking stupid. I'm pissed about that.
Talk about stupid. But
I had a couple.
It smelled so bad.
Oh
like,
man,
their arms used to always break in half, and I'd take them and put them on the stove and melt it and stick it back together, so all of them had like this weird like thing around their
not for me
arms.
that much. For us, me and my brother, it was the rubber that held the legs together always broke, and then we had to stick the legs back, but then you couldn't move the legs anymore.
Oh yeah, for the G.I. Joes, yeah, you'd spin them around and the rubber band will pop
Also
inside
for
of
the
them.
He-Man figures, but also definitely G.I. Joes. There was one rubber band, and when that tore, the entire figure fell apart. And
You guys know they sold repair kits for that?
They did?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
was
had
also-
Street Fighter G.I. Joe figures.
Me
Those were
too.
cool.
Yeah. I had all the pro wrestler figures that went from like 1990, 1991. And then I had all the Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, I had
Tons
too.
of G.I. Joes.
I had the Van, the turtle one. That was my big treasure.
Never did get that.
I had the Pizza
Oh
computer.
yeah,
Soundwave, bitches.
that's
I know
the best one.
Soundwave.
I had that. I had with the tapes.
I
Yep.
had the
I had him and
T-Rex.
Soundwave. I mean,
Sorry.
What about Teddy Ruxpin?
yeah, I didn't have
know
it,
them.
but my cousin had
Play
it.
some Metallica on some Teddy Ruxpin. There you go, man.
I had like he had the cassette. I had my friend, the neighbor girl. She had a Eddie Ruxpin, I think, and I thought it was interesting. But what did I have? I had Muppet Babies when I was really little. That's cool stuff. But yeah, like I would totally play an RPG like that. But what is it? I was just thinking about another game to play.
Mm-hmm.
So many games to play.
We got here Razorbeak. There we go.
What's a good language for a necromancer?
I don't know. German is the
Abyssal.
ultimate evil language. Apparently.
Abyssal.
No,
Romanian is actually really good
Yep.
sounding.
Abyssal?
Infernal. Infernal.
Well,
Type it in the side. I don't feel like looking it up. I can't.
D&D language, right?
ABYSSAL.
Oh, okay. So it was right.
I thought you meant, for some reason, you meant real world language. I would go with Egyptian because in the Conan universe, the Stygian mages, so Stygia is the ancient Proto-Egypt, and they're the closest thing to necromancers you can have in that.
Oh
So
yeah.
go with Egyptians. They have also
Stygian sorcerers.
I am making
Safe word.
my main bad guy for my campaign right now. And he's going to be a badass necromancer.
Juice, I put the link to safe word in the side thingy.
we got a badass over here.
I don't even know what safe word is.
You don't remember safe word?
That's
You don't
funny.
know what a safe word is? Well, that typically involves bondage in various other increments.
That is
Oh,
the
it's
other
bad?
kind of role playing.
Is that the game?
There's a different kind of role playing, yes, yes.
It's a different kind
I
of
can't
dumb.
download that. My wife will kill me.
Nice.
I'm too
I'll be like,
scared.
what the heck are you
Is it-
downloading?
There's
Is
no
that
way.
the Dropbox thing?
I'll be like,
Yeah.
honey, I got a new game for us to play. It's called
Guys making
Safe
out.
Word.
Safe word.
I love his Addison's tools. Write
Yeah.
that down.
Word. That's like that sounds like some fatal stuff there.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I mentioned the unnameable. I'm sorry.
What's unnameable?
You don't want to know. Fatal.
Fatal?
Yep.
One of the few
Alright.
games I refuse to play.
Well, I too. It's the worst RPG and the most offensive ever. So, but let's stop it here. So.
Okay.
Let's talk about World of Cinnabar. That one is bad, but at least it's cheerful about it. It's like Fatal is that really creepy, weird guy that, he should be on some list. But, like, World of Cinnabar, he's the happy, like, hippie guy, He's like, yeah, I'm crazy and everything. Like, what if RPGs would be people, Think about that for a second.
I don't want to.
Yeah, probably not.
Be a lot of killing.
Yeah.
Fifth edition would be like your last bra guy from the game.
No, fifth edition. I mean, if every edition was the same guy, it's like fifth edition, or like maybe it's the same family, It's like
Yeah.
he's like he lost a lot of weight, or something like that.
Oh God, Robert Ogre, please, for the love of God, throw something at Mitchell that'll kill him in tomorrow's game.
Oh, don't worry.
Cry.
Because you know Mitchell's character is going to be just horrendous. What was
Like
that? 20
Howard?
strength? 20 strength? Was
20
it?
strength.
I think he still is playing Palladium. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't worry. I don't have anything on that page, but I have lots planned.
I am rolling poor. Okay, this necromancer blows balls.
If someone dies, feel free to add me into it.
Have a
Wait.
door of annihilation that he walks through.
Instant death.
Oh, if you wanna kill somebody really quick, there's some really sweet traps out there that people made up. They're just mean.
Oh, you found some?
Everywhere. Oh yeah. I have the books. It's just about converting them to 5th edition. Well, I figured that out. I'll probably just make my own system. Shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, that's. It's not that hard.
It's fine. I haven't really. I just got the player's handbook recently, and I've been working on the Rifts campaign, so I didn't really read that much yet of the book, but I will sink my teeth into it once I start making my 5th edition campaign. So, and I want to get, I have also the free books and the beta tests, so I could already make a game, but I want to at least get the monster manual at this point. And I'm right now having a lot of fun with Rifts, so. But eventually, it will be switched out, so.
Yeah.
Safe word.
So when's the DMG come out?
December 9th.
Alright.
Oh yeah, it got pushed back.
I have to wait like freaking 2 weeks to get it. After that.
Is December 9th the official release, or is that the early release?
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's the official release.
Okay, so that'll put like, I don't know, a week and a half before then.
I'll give you some fucked up monsters, Rob. How do you feel about lava children?
Lava what?
Lava children.
You know what's so funny? I guess I could say this. I got the fucking monster manual, but like a few of the monsters in the game are like not from this at all.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
We all like it.
Not from this. I mean that.
From 3rd edition.
Not from the monster manual, 5th.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
And
borrowed
they're
the
not from
whole-
any edition.
No, it's good that they have always new monsters because it also I think it also like I will play 3.5 again eventually and run it because also there's some monsters. I mean you can convert them for 5th edition, but there's always some certain quirks and certain creatures that always stay with 1 edition. Like there was a lot of new monsters in the 4th edition book. I remember. I had a friend of mine who actually helped beta test the books and stuff, and so yeah, he told me about a lot of them. It was interesting, but
I don't know of another. I know Pathfinder has Tick Belong. I don't know if there's a single D&D incarnate that has Tick Belong.
Tick Belong.
Tick Belong. I wasn't expecting it in 5th. I was hoping.
Well, maybe that one is like, if it is original, then it might belong to Paizo.
No, it's not original. It's from Filipino mythology.
Yeah, what
Okay,
the hell,
so
man? Didn't you know that?
I'm
We
sorry.
all knew that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, obviously.
But you know Hungarian mythology, so no, so I win. Do you
I have
know
no idea what it is.
New Zealand?
Don't lie,
mythology?
Justin. Everyone knows.
Do I know New Zealand mythology? I'm loosely acquainted with it. I'm not like.
But do you know
adept in
Hungarian?
it.
That's the question.
Hungarian?
Yeah.
Not as much as I would like to. No.
You know how the Hungarian word for dragon, the original mythical dragon in Hungarian, was actually more of a humanoid, like a human with superhuman strength and powers, and had multiple heads, but was not serpent. And then later on, they made him into the European serpent dragon. It changed when Hungary became Christianized. It's actually interesting. It's almost more like a superhero story. In that way, because it was like human against human kind of thing, but kind of.
Someone's sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's my wife.
Oh, okay.
I was like, Juve?
I thought Juve.
Is that you?
Where's Juve?
Yeah, I told you she's got I told Somi she's got a kidney stone, so she's like took some pain medications, like crashed out.
Is she feeling better?
And she hadn't passed it yet. She was doing not so good earlier, but we'll see. We ran through a couple quick encounters and just different things, you know, trying to. She wanted to brush up, so.
Okay.
Chepe, were you just crying again?
No.
Okay. Just checking. You're a sensitive guy. I understand this.
Yeah, I know. I cried a little when I was talking with my family. My family, I convinced them that they could play, 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I could go over and, run something for some of my siblings. And then I realized that they only play Halo and Call of Duty, and they don't want to be involved in a game unless they can be better than everyone else. And so they would power game to the point of it being stupid. I just didn't want to deal with that. He wants to be a werewolf dragon.
Call of Duty? You're talking about Call of Duty, Chepe? No accounting for taste, man.
I love Call of Duty, but Battlefield is
you
so
do.
much better.
I like the old Call of Duties when it was World War II, like especially the first one. That was a good game, the single player mission.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
There's some of the Stalingrad maps with some really good sniper levels.
Oh, you were always a sniper?
No, I wasn't always a sniper, but it
Okay,
was just
good.
for
That was a
sniping.
leading question.
Dirty camper, you.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, you bitch.
Console shooter.
It's like what they would used to say
So-
when I used to play Quake or Quake 3. They would say, "You don't be a dirty camper. You don't be a dirty camper. You keep
Yeah.
Quake's better. Quake's better.
Dude, Counter Strike.
We used to play
Counter-
Quake in high school. We used to, on the computers in high school, we used to all play Quake in class, in our web authoring class. And we would download the skins, and one of the skins was a naked guy. So I always used that. And there was this girl who was like traumatized because she hit a deer and killed it. Like it didn't die right away, and it traumatized her. So I named her name was Kathy. So I named my character Kathy's Deer. So it'd be like, Kathy's deer gets smoked by a missile or something, and someone would say it really loud, and she'd be like, "Why are you guys making fun of me?"
She was traumatized by hitting a deer.
Well, she was like 17 or something.
Weak-minded fool.
Yeah. I'm thinking, hey, venison, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The meats probably wouldn't be very good after that.
It depends on if it's bruised or not.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I eat like deer that have been hit by vehicles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just field dress it and tie it to the hood of your car. You're good.
Yeah.
I prefer bow killed deer anyway because you get more meat. Or at least what I've seen, it's a lot cleaner.
It's pretty
Well, if
tender.
you hit it where you're supposed to in the front of its chest or whatever, it's not a big deal.
Right.
The benefit is that you don't have to go out in the woods at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's the fun, dude. You get to do that.
You don't have to pull out the bullets either.
Yeah, you don't have to usually. It busts right through it. Usually you can see the entrance and the exit.
Now, with bow hunting, you do have to pull out the broadhead.
I've watched a lot of deers get skinned, so
Yeah, I've smelled a few.
sectioned off. We've thrown it in the bathtub and sectioned it off before.
See, we do it, like, I field dress it, and then I hang it in the garage or the barn and do it out there. Yeah, like, butcher it that way.
Yeah. Well, you don't wash it?
Yeah, well, during the field dressing. Like, I field dress, pull it back to the house, wash it out, and then hang it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we well, my grandpa, when he'd get a deer, obviously he'd do the field dressing, strip its innards out, and then he'd bring it back. We'd hang it up in like the shed, probably for a couple weeks. Then well, probably not a couple weeks, but throw it in the bathtub after we skin it, and then from there we start cutting it up. At least that's how I remember it. Maybe we just washed it all in the bathtub. I don't know, but it ended up in the bathtub and it looked disgusting.
No, I've never eaten cat before, but I'd like to try.
You ever had raw venison?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Bucket list.
No way, dude.
From Melmac or something? You want to eat cats?
I'd eat a cat.
He's from
I'd eat a cat.
Arkansas.
I've always wondered what they taste like.
Probably stringy and nasty like raccoon or something.
Well,
Dude,
have you ever had
raccoon's
possum?
delicious.
They're probably like possum.
Are related to
No.
pigeons, actually, I think.
Possum is not bad.
You
So-
freaking hick.
Well, the possums are pretty close.
There's a
They're
guy
just
down the
ugly
street from me
cats.
that cooks possum. He's a trapper, but he's not as good of a trapper as I am.
Anything
These parts.
anything can be bearable if you just stuff it full of jalapenos and cheese.
Anything can be bearable as long as you drink enough moonshine, right?
I don't like moonshine.
We're in Michigan, man. We're not down south.
I don't
Where's
like
the-
moonshine either.
We
I'm just
drink
kidding.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and Jack Daniels.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Oh, who drinks that?
Dude, we drink Steel Reserve and Colt 45. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a ratio. It's 1 PBR to 1 shot of whiskey. Drink it. Drink it.
That's so horrible. Why
That
would
is
you do
true.
that to yourself? Just whiskey, or an Irish car bomb.
Yes.
Do an Irish car bomb when you're sitting up in a tree stand.
I do it.
Dude, from a tree stand, straight Jameson. Everybody knows that.
Not any 151 or anything?
See, what you do, you hollow out the tree and you put your keg in there.
The sad thing is, I know someone who would do that.
I do it.
I know.
I believe it.
I'd fall out of the tree.
in Utah, they would weaken the booze. So if I wanted to drink in Utah, I would like buy some Pabst Blue Ribbon or something because that was cheap, and it was natural light, which was horrible. And Pabst
Oh
Blue Ribbon
no!
is back
I was
now.
kidding about that, by the way.
I'm back in Germany now, so I'm now gotten used to German beer again. And
Oh,
You mean warm beer?
wait.
what
You gotta
beer?
tell me what this is,
Warm
dude.
beer?
Warm beer?
Yeah, don't they serve it warm over there?
It's not warm.
No.
I thought they served it
No.
warm. That's what everyone told me. In Germany, it's warm.
No, it's just not as cold as
Sudsy.
we do.
It's cold. It's definitely cold.
Sudsy.
I drink my
Sean,
beer
what is-
cellar temp.
I've
What's
never seen
a-
them serve. People can complain and they can get a new beer if it's too warm.
There's a beer. I used to always go to Oktoberfest here at the Dutch's house, but there's a beer and I can't think of the name of it. I keep wanting to say Warminster, but that's not it. It's something close to that. though.
Warsteiner? Is that the
What is
one,
it?
you think? Warsteiner.
Warsteiner. Yes. Oh, that's just so good.
Yeah, I don't like that one. That one sucks.
Oh, dude.
I like Paulana.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is it Warsteiner? Yeah, that beer sucks.
Yeah, I don't like that one. It's not my thing. But a lot of people like it. It's a big brand, but I like Paulaner. I like a lot of the smaller Bavarian stuff. There's one Augustiner. That one is pretty big, and it's also really cheap.
42?
You can get it like a bottle for like less than €1, like just like 80 cents or something, or 70 cents. That's super cheap. And it's really good beer.
Is that like expensive or something? Warsteiner. Somebody
No,
buy
it's okay. I mean, it can. There's some types of it that are more expensive than others, more the premium stuff. But 42, the answer to everything. There we go.
It is. It's the answer to the universe, the meaning of life.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, it's the what is it? The Hitchhiker's Guide answer. 42 beers are better than one beer. That's for sure.
Definitely.
No, it's not. 42 beers is death.
Not if it's
You don't have to drink it once.
depends
Not
on the
if it's
beer.
PBR.
Not if it's PBR.
You'll die by drinking too much liquid. You'll drown.
I don't know, like it fucking, as I said, Utah, they would weaken the booze. So in order for me to, and there was a time when in order for me to get any buzz, I would have to like drink these 30 cans of beer or something.
You used to live in
That was
Utah?
just pissing. Yeah, I studied there.
Oh.
Got all kinds of stories.
I gotta ask.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty 30s. I used to drink those in college.
Rob, you were asking me something?
I gotta ask everybody this, or at least from the United States. I don't know,
Right.
but dude, I just moved here 4 months ago. Okay, and it's still in Louisiana, but they don't. Does it anywhere else not sell liquor on fucking Sunday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the West Michigan Bible Belt of Michigan.
Cause dude,
Arkansas. The
Well,
entire.
in New Orleans, there's fucking drive-through daiquiris. Like every convenience store has beer and liquor. Like here, it's like what the? It's like I'm in a whole nother fucking world.
You go
here.
to Detroit or the Detroit area, you can do a drive-through liquor store.
Yeah, they have drive-through liquor stores.
They close the like garage door behind you, and you like wait for some shady dude to come up to you, and he's like, "What can I get you, man? What can I get you?" Yeah, I want some of that and that. Oh, okay, yeah. And then he goes and comes back.
With some Tanqueray and some Colt 45s for you. Doesn't matter what you order, you
You
get
gotta drink
Tanqueray
a
and
40
Colt
of Mickey's,
45s.
man. That's what we used to
Wear
drink.
like a
Is
suit,
Mickey's
like a gangster
and
suit
Steel
and
Reserve.
Tom
King Cobra.
Yes, man. Cracking me up.
In Utah, the only beer that they can sell in like other like supermarkets and stuff is like beer and like the hard lemonade, like what is it, the
Mike's
coolers,
Hard Lemonade.
yeah, that kind of stupid lame crap.
Yeah, that's
And
just
you know,
nasty.
all other booze can only be sold in state liquor stores. So it's just like
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, there's like liquor stores up here. I'm like, I thought that was in movies. I didn't know there was such a thing.
No.
Dude, the West Coast or the Northeast Coast has package stores that serve alcohol. It's not a liquor store. You go in and it's called a package store, and all they sell is liquor. That's how you buy beer and stuff. You can't like just go to a grocery store and buy beer like up in Connecticut, for example.
okay.
Isn't that weird?
Have you been to Mega Liquor in Kalamazoo, Juice?
No.
Dude,
I've
it's
been anywhere in Kalamazoo.
It's fucking huge. This is like a fucking liquor store half the size of a Walmart.
We have something like that around here. It's actually a chain called Benny's Beverage Depot. If they don't got it, it's probably not worth drinking.
Yep. We got one right next to the college.
There's probably a very good chance they wouldn't have
Some
Hungarian wine, but they're probably gonna have French and Italian wine. But
I hate wine.
Well, they got
There's some good wine out there, man.
What? You hate wine?
they
Yeah, I don't
good
like wine.
I'm not questioning that.
you gotta have a nice
I like
honey
the
wine.
wine of California.
Ugh. No, there's a well, it's a winery and a brewery out here. They have this cranberry acai. It's so freaking good. And then they have this white cranberry that's awesome, and just awesome wine. It's called Hudsonville Winery.
All right.
But they just started doing they partnered with a brewery, and now they do beer as well. So
Only
I haven't
wine
tried their
like
beer
to
yet.
drink is, right. The only wine I like to drink is like red dry wine, like super red, super dry. I don't like.
I've been
wine.
drinking a lot of Angry Orchard, the Red Crisp or
I
whatever.
like Boone's. Boone's Farm.
Nice.
Yuck.
Robert Oaker knows what's up.
What are you, a 18-year-old freshman in college?
That's
With
an
a
honest one
vagina?
right there.
No, dude, you keep that. You keep that in your refrigerator. It's like the perfect date drink to get
If
to.
wine comes in a box, that means it's classy.
18-year-old vagina. That's like Arbor Mist.
Yeah,
No,
Arbor
that's
Mist
like
does-
19-year-old.
Oh,
They upgraded that from Boone's Farm.
And there's a transition period.
Yeah.
Right out of high school.
I get you some wine that not come in a box. We're fucking.
My favorite thing with the box wine, I was gonna say, the box wine has only seen grapes when they printed the grapes on the box. That's when they seen grapes. That thing, I had the
Way the
worst
grape
drink
over.
in the universe. I mean, that thing is poison. I'm not even the good kind of poison, just poison.
No, I've had some bad liquor in my day. I bought discount blackberry brandy that tasted and smelled. Okay, it tasted and smelled. Well, I don't know exactly how it tastes, but if you were to drink nail polish remover, I'm pretty sure this is how it would taste.
Oh my god, no. The
Did it
only-
have
Chili
did it
bone
have a tinge at the tip of your tongue?
Yeah. It was
Okay,
like-
so it does taste like nail polish remover. Okay.
Was it better than Night Train?
Was it better than Night Strain?
Do you guys drink scotch? Scotch drinkers?
Yes, of course.
Dry.
It tastes pretty much just like whiskey, though.
He's from New Zealand. You better drink scotch. I mean, really.
Yeah, you better, AJ, or he's going to come over there.
I prefer a good bourbon, to tell you the truth. I mean, you can't get past the immersion into the place where it was made sort of feeling of a really characteristic Scotch from Scotland. But bourbons, yeah, you can get some really good bourbons. I've got a guy called Old Busman in New Zealand who he literally lives in an old bus. He makes probably the world's best bourbon I've ever tasted. It tastes better than what do you call that red labeled stuff? Maker's Mark.
Yep.
Maker's Mark, right?
Yeah, it's sort of similar to Maker's Mark, except a bit smoother, if you can believe it.
Wow.
God, I have no idea what he puts in there.
I'm not a big
Yeah,
whiskey or bourbon fan myself, but I do like at times a good Johnny Walker or something like that.
What is that,
it's
AJ?
some of-
Have you seen this, Juice?
What is that?
It's the game
This
time
is-
chart.
This is the game time chart that DMG made for us.
Oh, I have not seen it yet.
I'm using my powers to interpret it.
Does it work?
I was
Johnny
looking at it and I
Walker's
still
really
didn't
good.
understand.
To play in a game, find the game time in red squares and reference it to your time zone. If your time zone is a black square, subtract 1 day from the date of the time.
What about daylight savings time? Does it take that into account?
Not every time zone has a daylight savings time.
Yes.
Not every
Yes, he
state
does.
has a daylight savings time.
You've got NZT and NZDT, which I imagine is daylight savings time.
Is that for the tabletop one shot?
Yeah.
I just try to take into consideration who's in what time zone in the group, and then just try to put out the.
It's
Yeah.
really
The
as
main-
simple as this. When you say you're going to play a game, for instance, I'm going to run a game at 10 p.m. Eastern time zone. Then
Yeah.
anybody who wants to play in it just goes, what time is that for me? Google.
Yeah.
10 p.m. Eastern time zone is whatever in Zulu time. Or
Yeah. I
Pacific.
generally go that time because that is where the majority of players are sourced from.
Oh, you mother. You know that's
Is
me,
it-
man.
is
I
that
like
Glenn
whiskey. No, Gentleman Jack. Gentleman. So smooth. So smooth.
Dude, I have so much fucking Jack whiskey. It's ridiculous.
Fuck you guys, I'm gonna have to go and get a drink now.
It's like a true.
I need to drink like a beer or something. There's this beer here in Germany that's fucking ridiculous. It's got like an aftertaste of smoked bacon. Like you drink it and it feels you just
I have
you
enough
had a
worth
beer
drinking right now.
and the smoked bacon.
Wait,
Yeah,
all
everybody
I
likes whiskey.
there's a
dude. We gotta
beer
get
that tastes like smoked bacon. Is that what you said?
It's you drink a beer and it tastes like a good beer, and then the aftertaste is not just smoked bacon. It's like literally not just like smoked bacon. It's literally like smoked.
Why does it look so light, Juice?
Because
What is
it's
it? That's-
frozen? I don't know. Here, let me wipe off the
Man,
side
that's
real
freaking
quick.
Apple juice.
No, it's not. There.
It's actually apple cider. He's just trying to cover up.
There we go.
It's just
Trying
frozen.
to impress the big
Uh,
boy.
Not frozen, but it just doesn't look. I don't know. It's
Yeah, the
definitely
glass is
not.
supposed to be.
This one's been opened though.
What have I?
I got these from a wedding, like over the summer, and I just haven't drank them.
My glass is labeled.
Bro,
Hmm.
are we all Jack drinkers here?
I am.
Oh no, AJ's a Jim.
Yeah, I can do some Jim Beam too.
Gin can be good.
I
Eh,
used
I
to
don't like
drink
Jim.
beer.
Nasty to me.
Not
Gin
anymore.
and Jack.
Cheers!
I am Jack and Jack.
Jack and Jack.
Jack is okay. I like John.
Jack and
Morgan.
Lime.
Yeah, you gotta have a lime in it.
Well, I got honey jack, so no lime.
Yeah, there's no need. There's really no need for that.
I got some.
It's been a while since I've
lingering.
talked to
So is Sean the only non-whiskey drinker here then?
No, I do drink whiskey at times. I'm not the biggest fan. There was a time I really liked what is it? Not Jack Daniels, Jim Beam. That was actually at one point my nickname in high school, and then my nickname became Tequila. So.
Oh no.
Hang on, who doesn't have facial hair here?
Everybody's got it, man.
I don't have top hair.
I don't have really.
I'll be
facial
joining you soon, Chepe.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I had to shave. I was starting to get Amish beard.
Yeah, the little lady told me to get rid of it.
Yeah.
There was a whiskey like a Scotch. It was Glenfiddich or Glenfinland. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
definitely-
Glenfiddich.
Yeah.
So
They have
I love it.
multiple.
Fiddick.
It was a Irish pub that was in Munich, and they had a ton of different whiskeys. It's not something mostly I drink nowadays beer or wine, and if I want to have something harder, then either tequila with the lemon and the salt, or nice vodka, because vodka I don't get because I don't know, because it's clean and I don't get like such a hangover from it. Just a nice shot of vodka. So.
Can't stand vodka.
Me either.
I like vodka. I like Grey Goose.
Why?
Love that stuff.
You know, there's the
That is really nice.
what is it? Is it Smirnoff vodka that has all the different flavored ones?
Yep.
Smirnoff has a lot of
Like
flavors.
they have a root beer one that's 100 proof.
Just vodka
Mixed
has
with root beer,
ones.
you will get fucked up quick because it tastes like straight root beer.
Have you ever had an Irish monk?
I have
I
milk.
like monk.
Yeah, it's a mixed drink that's like 3 or 4 kinds of whiskey and Kahlua, and it tastes just like chocolate milk.
I've had the Four Horsemen.
What?
Have you had the
Yep.
Four Horsemen?
Irish
There's,
mist is pretty good.
there's Bailey's. That's like chocolate.
Yeah. Put that in my coffee.
It's Bailey's, Kahlua, 2 or 3 kinds of whiskey.
I don't like Kahlua. I think I drank that, but I never liked that. I rather.
You gotta mix it with something. Like
Right.
there's no point in drinking Kahlua straight.
No.
Milk and liquor.
It's so
do not
gross.
go together.
The powder out of a Nesquik thing for the chocolate flavor. Like,
Well, what a Black Russian is just Kahlua and vodka, isn't it?
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Yup.
You know which one I always thought was gross is Curaçao Blue. I couldn't stand that stuff. You know, it looks like Smurf blood.
Really?
Good too.
Oh,
But is that shit-
right. Curacao.
Curacao. Like in Germany, they say Curacao blue because I
Yeah,
don't know.
Curacao Blue. Yeah.
Dutch, who knows?
They use it a lot in college girl drinks.
Yeah, there we go.
For
I
me,
mean,
it's gin.
It was like always in high school, chicks would always have gin and tonic or something like fancy like that. And, I don't know, I always like good old beer, honestly.
I've
I
always
hate
wanted to try
gin.
Moscow Mule. I still haven't gotten one
Hate
yet.
it.
Moscow Mule?
Yeah, I still haven't had one yet.
Is that a cocktail?
Don't get me
or-
started, juice.
What?
Andrew is going to end the...
Yeah, just read it
Wait.
out loud. Why not?
Nobody help him, all right? Nobody.
I have to.
Justin, could you do me a favor? Justin. Not Justin. Sorry, wrong. Sean.
Yeah, yeah.
Pronounce
Hey,
this for me, please.
Andrew, just make sure you get the dingleberries out of your mustache when you show up on a chat tomorrow.
Oh,
I'll have to do some. I'll have to do some grooming.
Hey,
before-
Sean,
before
how do you
my
say that?
video.
The windbreaker pants.
The windbreaker pants.
Dude, I got them. I just washed my windbreakers.
I'm
earlier
sure
today.
you had to.
They're ready, man. They're ready to
probably-
go.
Dude, is it like the Snap Adidas ones that they used to have back in the day?
No, I do have a pair
yellow?
of those though.
There's
I use
nothing
those.
creepier than a dude in
Jeff,
yellow
what were you
Adidas
saying?
pants.
I use those for basketball, not.
I just put in the
Kansas.
chat.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, make him
Ask me now. How do you pronounce Arkansas? Or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
See, AJ thought it was Arkansas, and everybody that I know internationally always says that it's Arkansas, even though everyone in Arkansas pronounces it Arkansas.
No, I know
It's
Arkansas.
pronunciated
No,
Arkansas.
I know it's Arkansas. I am actually American. I'm American-Hungarian, but I lived most of my life in Germany, so I have a little bit of...
Yeah,
I
check
speak
back.
three
Quit being racist.
Nobody can pronounce Arkansas.
Like everyone I know from like so many people even from just different states pronounce it as.
No, I know it's Arkansas, but it's like now when I saw it, of course, I ran into the trap, you know. But it's Arkansas, yeah. And
Okay,
I-
guys.
Town.
This is a local town very nearby me, and good luck pronouncing this.
I think I got this. Oh, yeah.
It is pronounced
Rawa.
Naruwahia.
Not a warrior.
Naruwahia.
Not a warrior. Not a warrior. Not a warrior.
Let's say something really wrong. You got to be careful here.
Not
How
a
about
warrior.
this one?
Whoever warned that this was a live chat, what were you referring to? Apparent racism?
No, his
No,
creepy
no, no.
with the windbreakers.
Change your
Get
rules,
that-
dude.
Oh, okay, yes,
At
yes.
least keep this R-rated. Let's keep this R-rated.
Is that like a Louisiana, New Orleansy type word? Because it's probably something like Louis.
Like French word. The French are
Yeah.
great because
Dude,
they write
everything.
like,
Coyote.
Calliope, that's it. It's really Calliope. That's how
Calliope.
you should say it, but everybody says Calliope down here.
It should be
Coyote.
Calliope. You shouldn't. That's two L's. That's not.
That's hey.
I like it.
Yeah, I see. how
It's like saying, okay, here you go. Here's a good one.
what,
Detroit.
It's French.
It's
You know it's
Detroit.
French, right?
It's
It's
Detroit.
Detroit.
Okay.
Nobody
I-
says it right.
There was a guy once from Boston. He said, "You don't say Boston. You say Boston.
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 Walk down to Boston to have some clam chowder.
Clam chowder.
They try to get their khakis in line.
Khakis
Khakis.
in the yard.
All right, now you're just
Khakis? Or is
mashing
it
on the keyboard, Ogre.
Yeah, that
Sounds
can't be
good.
real.
That's not a word.
That's a river. Chifunta.
Robert, you just rubbed your face on the keyboard. That's how that happened. You
Defunct.
just literally stuck your face and just rolled it, and that's what popped up.
I could write. I'd probably write anything Hungarian, and you guys. Could,
Probably.
this is the name of my
It's
home
funny.
village.
That's head of Getty.
Yeah, hit of Ketty.
Head of Getty.
This is the name of my home village in Hungary. So go ahead, try to say that.
What the? Dude, you guys are making shit up.
Make
I'm not making shit.
Maggie.
Maggie.
Gregi.
It's you say it Magyaregrej. The GY sound. People
There's no
learn-
O in that word.
That's very
No.
that's very front of the mouth talking.
You
Magnadia.
have to pronounce the letters differently in Hungarian, like with every language.
I'm just screwing around, man.
The DY sound
Magnadia.
is something that people who don't speak Hungarian they cannot get it. It's the hardest thing to do. And that one has like multiple too. So
Do you guys
After
have like?
Detroit? I had to make a wardrobe change.
okay.
Oh, get out of here.
That's racist, man.
Yeah, that's racist. We need to change your logo.
Dude, I don't know if you're aware. I'm so offended right now. I am Native American. I'm so offended.
I'm
Yeah.
Native American too.
I'm a fourth Native American.
So offended. Are you? Oh, you're a fourth Native American, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, fourth? Really? You
My
should be-
ancestors
What tribe are you?
were also on horses and also showed bow and arrows, but I don't think they were Native American. They were just Hungarian. So
I'm like half German.
there you go, German. I have also German in me from my dad's side. My
Yeah.
name is actually not. Well, I don't want to say my name. But, well, whatever, Big Warrior.
You don't want to say your name? This is
Say my
recorded
name,
live.
Sean. Yeah, I know. Whatever, Sean. You can find my name. I don't care.
I
I
see
don't
your name.
care.
I don't care,
think
man. I don't
I
care.
told you guys my ancestry, right? I think
You're like a criminal or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're from that part of the world, so I'd assume your ancestry is criminal of some sort.
He's like he's like descended from Jack the Ripper or something. I don't know. That was harsh.
my ancestry of my
I have a
My-
train robber ancestor.
Alright.
my family came over to New Zealand in 1872. Before that, there's about 4,000 years of history back in Norway. So
Oh wow. In my family,
This is one of
my
shoulders in this
grandmother,
way.
on my grandmother said she was actually a royalty, like gentry. It's a pretty low royalty, and she's told me that in the 17th century there was this one guy. I forgot his name, but he was almost like a Robin Hood kind of robber dude. And one of our family members, he was kind of like kicked out of the family and the thing because he joined him apparently.
That's all.
All I know.
don't know much beyond it.
All I know is Basque separatists.
Yes.
Oh,
Nobody. I'm actually descended from terrorists, and then
Nice.
my great grandfather, who went to the Dominican Republic, so you could say I'm Dominican instead of Basque, but I'll still say Basque.
I'll see your terrorist ancestors and I'll raise you Vikings.
Yeah, well, they moved to the Dominican Republic, right?
Right,
But my
right.
great grandfather and his brother also helped take over the country. They helped kill Rafael Trujillo, who was a kind of a pseudo dictator at the time. And their cousins became the dictators of Paraguay or Uruguay, and I can't remember which was.
Okay.
So I
I know
had.
a lot about your heritage. I know nothing really, but my mom's into that family tree stuff.
It was only
Right,
2 or 3
right.
generations back, so I kind of
Dog,
heard winds of
Like
it.
one time, I looked on the lineage, and it told me I was related to English royalty.
Royal tie?
English, I was related
to a
to
royal tie.
English royalty. No, I'm just kidding.
My
really?
grandmother still had her title actually, but she never told me about it because what happened is that their family they basically got poor because they invested money in the 1840. There was the 1848 revolution against the Austrians, which failed.
You know a lot of
And they,
details.
and they invested money there. Oh, my grandmother told me that. So, and then and she wrote it all down too. She was a teacher, so she's and then in 1950.
Yeah, but you guys remembered this shit. My mom's told me stuff, and I have no idea.
Well, not
Okay.
1950.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
the First World War. That's when they invested again, and then they lost pretty much all their money. So, and my grandmother then stopped using her title, especially she in the First World War, not the First World, the Second World War. She went out to Italy, but and when she came back, she stopped using her title because it was in the communist era, and anybody who had any kind of even royal name, they would have been Gulag. Hello.
Mm.
Actually,
My
never
link,
heard about it anyway. So, sorry.
my ancestors' link to America is they were shipbuilders and they actually built the Mayflower. That was the Eaton side of
wow.
the family. So
That is awesome. That is awesome.
just a relatively small ship by the standards at the time. But they came over to New Zealand on the Hofting, which was this huge, big ship that was used to transport manure over to Norway, which was highly lucrative, and then they ended up taking a bunch of colonists all the way across the world to New Zealand. And on board, actually, funny story this, on board was one English family. But because the boat was loaded up with Norwegian cuisine, basically, they would have this rye porridge in the morning, which the English absolutely hated and wouldn't touch. And that was so filling that they basically didn't eat anything for the rest of the day. And at dinner time, well, they'd have a light lunch, and then at dinner time they'd have, a decent meal, and the English would load up with as much food as possible for the long fast of the next day. And when they got to New Zealand, finally, the English family immediately went marching into the harbour master's office and complained about lack of rations on board the ship, which is a very serious accusation because people lived and died. In fact, I think about 4 kids died and about 13 were born on the journey over, to give you some idea. And the harbour master went in, and they still had a good 3 months of food left over. So that was pretty funny.
Interesting. It's like travel was so different back in the day. Like now, people complain. It's like, oh, I cannot fit on 2 seats or something, or like on the plane or
That's a
whatever.
major problem if you can't fit on 2 seats. Complaining too.
I hate planes. So scrunched up, man. No knee room. I only get one complimentary drink. What the hell is this?
I know.
I
remember.
Yeah. I don't like breathing other people's air.
I once got really sauced because I don't know, I had some issues there because with my ticket and everything, and I got just really worked up. There was some really loud problems. So when I got on the plane, the guy was actually really cool. He got me some like weird like kind of coupons for drinks, right? So and I just said, okay, I'm gonna try to get drunk off of this as much as I can, but yeah.
What are you talking about, Andrew?
What is Andrew talking about?
I don't know. That which shall not be named. Now I want to know what shall not be named.
Oh, 4th edition.
Oh, 4th ed.
I was like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Have you guys seen 4th Core? 4th Core?
4th ed has lots of problems. I wouldn't play it really anymore, but it's not the end of the world system.
I'd play it if Andrew ran it for me.
If you have the right,
He's the 4th ed guy. He's the one who should be running it.
That's his niche.
That's his
Hey
niche.
man, I played 4th ed just like from word go all the way through till 5th ed came out.
I ran and I played 4th ed and I had good times with it too. You can house for a lot of the problems out of it anyway, so. But
Yeah, just cut
5th ed
everybody's hit points in half. That solves a big issue.
that's a good idea.
And monsters too.
They have way too much healing. Yeah, it's like also the monsters. It's just like that's why combat just takes way too long. That's the problem.
It's a game that's balanced to the point of fault.
It's
It's
too
too
balanced. Yeah.
I used to play every other Sunday for 4th edition, and we would play 8 hours, and we would have 2 combats.
Oh.
Wow, 2.
I couldn't play a role.
No, we were moving fast.
I know, you actually got to a second one.
Impressive.
We normally end it during the second combat, but we got to it.
Yeah. 4th ed is a game that's very hard to have any sort of past like 10th level. It just gets kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I was playing at the 18th level.
Yeah.
Hyperion.
Too much going on.
By
I don't know,
Epic tier, it's so out of control that like people can power game their characters out to the point where you have like an Avenger in your group that's soloing what's supposed to be a 2-hour boss fight, while the rest of the party is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
might-
Yeah.
The trick with power gamers, because there's a bit of discussion about power gamers, just throw something against them which is wildly out of balance. Fuck them up.
I plan on doing that in my next game.
That's what I say too. Also, like with people always say, power game is this and that. I'm like, just as I said, have you opened up the monster menu? Have you seen? There's some monsters that really are made to fuck with power gamers, and sometimes all you need to do, especially 3.5, it's very easy. You take 1 CR higher, even just 1 CR higher than them. And or you take like, I don't know, something like a manticore with the poison darts that it shoots. Full attack, what it can do. It's brutal. You know.
Go up 1 CR and add a charm effect. Done.
There we go. Oh wait, there's a template where like legendary monster, where it's a unique monster. Put that on a Manticore.
Yeah,
You know,
layer
you can
effects.
kill that shit.
Yeah, it regenerates over an Earth node every single time.
Yep.
Oh.
I had a guy who wanted every time there was a magical item, he somehow ended up getting it. So he was completely decked out, you know.
5th edition only allows 3, I think.
Well, if you have to be attuned to it, but like armors, you typically don't have to be attuned to it.
Supposedly, I think it's 3 items in the free PDF.
It's
DM
three up to 3 that you have to be attuned to. You can have as many magical items as long as you don't have to be attuned to them.
How
Okay.
cool on that.
I got him by himself in a room, and I opened up these small hatches in the side walls, and the room filled with rust monsters.
Oh, that's evil.
Okay, the rust monsters are there
Devious.
for guys who have too many weapons or way too good armor, and there is actually a monster that that's its whole purpose, an outsider monster, is to eat magical items, okay? It's literally made for those to balance out the players again. It eats magical items.
That's in 5th edition?
And that's not in
4th
5th
edition.
I think that was in 2nd edition.
In
but
4th edition, rust monsters that ate magical items got pseudo magical powers, and I think Beholder eat magical items as well.
It wasn't a rust monster. It was a different monster. I can't think of it. I do know it was an outsider from a specific plane.
I remember something about you get residuum from rust monsters that eat magical items.
That could be.
One of the sources. Yeah. Residuum. Astral diamonds. Oh, fuck that shit.
What do you think of a
There was also
wizard,
monster
an
that loved to
NPC
eat treasure.
wizard with the alarm spell at the entrance of his cave or whatever?
I support it.
Yeah.
Like a really loud siren. I think that'd be sweet. So you can't even sneak in on him.
Let him know I'm coming. I want him. I want to know it.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm saying. When I bust up in that cave, I want the wizard to know I'm coming. Doesn't sound the alarm.
You saw how cautious my players were, though.
Yeah, they're the opposite end of the spectrum. They're cautious to a fault.
They are. It's kind of obnoxious
I
sometimes.
like playing the character that it doesn't matter who I'm going up against, I will try to talk to them first. Because I don't want to have to hit anything.
Try talking to an owlbear, please. Try
I
talking
had my
fucking ooze to an amoeba.
I had
My
a
players talked to fire beetles one time.
But at least they make a sound, an ooze.
They're stupid.
They're
It's
stupid,
the-
yes, but they make a sound. It's something.
It's the Doug
Yeah.
Douglason. Like the character walks up and tries to negotiate with the ogre magi, and he goes, "This is what you do." Well, he rips your arms off.
I actually just had a player die to a gray ooze. It was like 2 Thursdays ago. His first session.
D&D guys, I ran into this earlier tonight. I was, playing a little bit with my wife. All right, she's a gnome, okay, or let's just say a medium creature person wanted to get on the back of a normal-sized creature.
Yeah.
How many actions would that take? And that would be considered grappling, right?
Hang on, is it a willing creature or unwilling creature?
An unwilling creature, like you're fighting someone, and you're in front of them, and they took a swing and missed, and
You try to climb on their back?
It's
yeah,
a grapple. Yeah.
And how
it's a
big is
grapple.
the creature?
like normal size compared to a gnome, medium size.
Then yeah, I would call it a grapple.
Right.
If it was a larger creature, I would call it an athletics check probably for climb.
Call it
Okay.
a curb stomp.
Now if you was like grappling someone, on the
Either way,
ground-
it's an athletics check though.
Right, and that's what I did. I did with an athletics check. But all right, for the creature that the normal sized creature to get the medium sized creature off their back. Now normally you would do strength check, right?
Or dex. It depends on what they're doing. So they can declare to do a dex to remove them or athletics.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. I went with dex. So that's right? Okay.
Yeah, that was fine.
Like Dex, I would think that would be them trying to slip out of the grip.
Yeah.
while
Yeah,
I think that's how the
strength would
book
be,
describes it.
while strength would be trying to force them to
Muscle them off, yeah.
wrestle them off.
The
Or
option.
you'll run backwards into a wall and smash them against the wall.
That would be some kind of attack.
And that would be one action, you think?
Yeah.
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 So I done good.
Yes, poison spray it is, dude. All day. Disadvantage.
All
What are
day.
you doing, Juice? I have no idea
I'm
what.
making a necromancer wizard.
Being
He's
evil.
gonna have poison spray.
Dude, what you need is
for
grease and
1d12 damage within 10 feet, and also disadvantage.
sleep, dude. That'll fuck up a party.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that is a first level spell. Yeah.
I just learned that I think in 5th edition now sleep is not against just one. I don't know, maybe
It's a
sleep
hit
always
point.
was.
It's hit points.
It's hit points, but it's also an area of effect spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I almost like made myself go to sleep when I was like, I was setting this barn on fire, in was it Fox's game, and then
You
somebody.
can't put yourself to sleep.
No. Well, I don't know. Like,
I mean, the rules don't say you can't, but I would never say, oh yeah, you can't sleep, and because it's in the radius, you're asleep.
Andrew
I
should
put
put
party
everybody to
members to
sleep
sleep.
in the
Well, I
last
don't
game.
know. It could be
Yeah.
still the effect of the spell. You're not
Yeah.
necessarily immune to your own spell.
I aimed at a sea hag and I cast sleep. Put my arm out and I said sleep, and Fox fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he was the only thing that fell asleep. It was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was my
that's awesome.
Jubei moment.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah, because the way sleep works,
Juve.
if sleep, it targets the creature with the least hit points first. So if it ends up getting to you, then yeah, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's how we handle it in a 20 by 20 room.
So, the same thing. That's like with the wild magic chart, where you cast fireball on yourself. You're in the radius, so you're going to get hit by it.
Well, it's basically, I know it's just now in the video game way, but in Baldur's Gate, like Fireball is only useful as the first spell because you throw it into the thick of the enemies. You gotta also watch out so you don't get hit, because afterwards you cannot throw it in because you hurt your own people. Because the fire does, unless I heard in 5th edition now they have, and they might have, I think they had it also in 3.5, but you have a spell sculpt where you can make it so where the fire, you can make it so that it actually
Only as
avoids.
a wizard, yeah.
Or a
As
sorcerer.
wizard, yeah.
He's showing. I know you like the computer game guy. How's Daggerdale? Something Daggerdale. It's like a.
I hear Daggerdale is not so good. I have it. I haven't played it yet.
Because I always see it, and it's like on the clearance rack for like $10.
There's a reason for that because nobody
Yeah.
really wants to play it. There's lots of more better D&D games to play.
Yeah.
How about Tasha's Hideous Laughter?
Planescape
Oh, yeah.
Tournament.
Everybody in their Planescape tournament. Well, one day I'll play it. No, I play it but I still want to first finish Baldur's Gate 2.
Hey, Juice,
And
Yeah.
then maybe.
Have you
I
tried-
Daggerdale when I
Sorry.
do.
Those are all good.
have you
That's what I
tried to
gave to you,
port Pathfinder spells into 5th yet?
Nope. And I don't plan on it. Why? What's up?
Because I have some materials that I really wish I could use, but they're all Pathfinder, and they're some of my favorite spells.
Well, like what spells?
Nuclear
Hold on.
explosion spell.
But Andrew, doesn't that use a sorcery point?
It does, yup.
Yeah, the wizards is just built into their spells.
Yeah, sorcerers have to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm planning on making this necromantic wizard just drop a bunch of people and freak them out.
Oh yeah, man. Give them grease, give them sleep. They come
Yeah.
at them.
The more they
Everybody's gonna be
complain, that's who's
prone.
getting it too. It'll be punishment.
Do they have one? I don't know. Like, is it horrifying or where they're in horror? That's it. Do they have that again? It's just.
I'm
called
sure they
horror.
do. It's probably just a different. What level is it?
If it can have vicious mockery, give it to it.
That's something I forgot on our game.
It's basically where they're like fear. They're so fearful that they cannot do anything else. and
Yeah.
They might
Like
flee.
that's what I had. Like three
petrifying.
hags.
Or not petrifying.
Okay, let me.
I had
let me
3 hags, and I forgot to make everybody roll for that. For when you see them ugly women.
Like spells like megalomania
Alright.
and
So this is what I chose.
mists of ecstasy. What?
I chose poison spray. These are my cantrips. Poison spray, message, so I can, once the alarm triggers, they can message inside the players' heads to mess with them. And then chill touch, just because I think it's necrotic. I was gonna go with dancing lights and have them see like a sphere of light that they would like follow into a trap, but because they would fall for it. And then for my first level spells, I have Alarm, Magic Missile, because my fighter has the that armor or the damage reduction thing of 3. So there's a way to bypass it since it's magical damage. Sleep, Thunder Wave, Witch Bolt, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Okay, I probably said it wrong. That sounds awesome. But here's one.
It's all to screw with them.
The spell that I'm thinking, I think, is Cause Fear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if fifth edition has that one.
I'm sure it does. I don't see it though.
There's one that I find interesting is Doom. Where it's going to break.
I don't
down
like the organization of the spells, by the way, in the 5th edition Player's Handbook. I just want to say that.
I don't like it either because what they listed off before, and then they listed off like I think alphabetically, not by level.
Right. That's I think that's my gripe
level.
how they do it like that.
It should be by level and also by what type of spell, like Bard spell, Cleric spell.
That's how I'd prefer it. If they did it by level, then alphabetical. And then I also wish that, for instance, under Alarm, I wish it would say who could do it. So like sorcerers, warlocks, wizards, or clerics, or druids, or whatever. And because right now, if I'm just flipping through the spells, I have to keep flipping back and forth, and I hate that.
I know.
Well,
I had the same problem.
now the problem with it telling you what type of class can use a spell, there's a certain, like with the warlock, based off of your background, if you choose a certain background, you get to add things. You get to add some spells that you wouldn't normally be able to cast that are not warlock
Right,
spells.
but it still has a section before that says warlock spells. So under the spell actual description, it should still say warlock spell, is my point. It wouldn't take up any extra room. You could put it in the same line as first level abjuration, for example. You could say first level abjuration, warlock, wizard, you know what I mean? You could do all sorts of different things, and that way you don't have to use up more pages. That's my gripe.
The way how I liked it in the Dark Eye when they had the magic expansion for the 3rd edition, where they had a separate book with just the spells and then just the spells descripted in detail, and they would list every spell in. There was groupings, and then basically what they had the types of the spells. It started with anti-magic, and then so on evocation, all these demonology, whatever. And then every spell description had what kind of spell it was. And but it worked really well because you could say, okay, I want to have a evocation, like a combat spell. Okay, and then you open combat spells. And those are all direct effective spells that you use in combat, either like damage spells or buff spells. It made it really easy, and here I have to open it up, and it's like, okay, you have a pretty good listing where it shows you what is what, but then, as you said, I'm going back and forth.
You want it organized like this.
Nice.
Yeah. Second edition, there's a reason why second edition has survived so long, you know?
No, there's not.
Dude,
I hate second edition.
What?
I really hate
I
second.
haven't
Come
played
on,
it yet,
dude.
but
I've already said it before, man. I've always
First level spells.
Come
Second
on.
level spells.
See, I don't necessarily want it organized differently, Justin. The only thing I would want it to do is put it in the order based on spell level, not necessarily in class organization. Because I don't want them repeating spells for different sections. I just want them to put it in spell level organization and then alphabetical. So all the first level spells would be in alphabetical order, regardless of what class they are. But somewhere under each spell, I want to know if it's a warlock, cleric, druid, whatever.
Now, I have a question with the spells with D&D with 5th edition is when you choose your spells in the beginning, and can you learn new spells like 2nd edition style, or do you just choose new spells when you level up? Because I'm kind of confused.
You learn new spells as you level.
Yeah, there's spells you learn, and then the amount of spells you can prepare changes, and your slots change.
Okay, right.
And your preparation is based on whatever your skills are, or your attributes are.
Plus your level, yeah.
Yeah. So like you look at your I don't know. It's different for different classes too.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to say it's this way all the time.
I'll read the player's handbook more. I'll have time now. It's just, the Rifts game.
I hate spellcasters trying to figure out how many spells and stuff. It always is a problem.
I love it, dude. Like with this dude I just made, this cleric, this war cleric, he can prepare one spell because he has a wisdom of 10. Very simple.
Wow.
But he's got like 3 spells at level 2.
Yeah, it's your wisdom modifier plus your half your level.
Yeah,
one.
With a minimum 1. Yeah.
In Baldur's Gate 2, what is it? Minsk, the ranger who has literally got brain damage, got to the level where he can also cast now 1 spell, and I'm like, yes.
What background should I use?
Sage. More languages.
I don't want more languages. I won't use them.
Criminal Information Network.
What is it?
And proficiency in Thieves' Tool.
Proficiency what?
The Charlatan is fun because you can do a disguise kit.
Charlatan?
And also
And
you get
sleight of
bonus
hand and deception? Okay, yep. Charlatan it is. Done deal.
What you should do, by the way, too, Juice, with message, you should flavor it to be like magic mouth. So when it talks to the players, it actually appears on the wall of the dungeon as a huge-ass mouth. And, like, shoots out what it says at them.
I like that.
No, I like the idea that I could talk to each individual one. So what I think I'm going to do is make little note cards and fold them in half and write predetermined things. I'm just going to give them to certain players at different times and tell them that you are not allowed to share it with anyone else and just screw with them.
Paranoia.
Yeah, because the way they are, it's perfect.
Do you have?
If you're telling them themselves, if they choose to tell their party that they heard something.
Right. But I don't want them to say this. Look, just that sort of deal.
I'm surprised that hasn't been put on the one-shot RPG group yet. Is Paranoia?
A game called Paranoia? You mean?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, somebody did put it up, and I was gonna play.
Paranoia is old school, man.
Yeah, well, fucking
Best
D&D
time.
is old school. Maybe not 5th edition, but I like old school games. There's many games I have always heard about, but I never played. I haven't even played Vampire, for crying out loud, and everybody played that.
Yeah, me either.
It's a great game.
I just want to play the Ninja Turtles RPG again.
Ooh, yeah.
You want to play it as the Ninja Turtles?
An anthropomorphic shark, but probably I will get an anthropomorphic sheep or something instead. Because
Dude, that was my first game ever. The first RPG in my entire life.
Wow.
Ninja Turtles.
I would have totally played this, but I don't think they released it in Germany. And if they did, I probably just didn't find it. It was really hard to get role-playing games back in the day. At least in Germany. I mean, they had some in the toy shops. But it was mostly, there was the Dark Eye, pretty much. That was it.
Ooh.
Are you a Juice? Do you let your players pass you note cards? Are you like a secret message type of GM?
I would, but I've never done it or had it happen.
I've done this once, but not with notes.
I would rather them text me.
Yeah, I don't allow phones at my table. But I have a guy who's passed me notes because he wants to poison the water supply in every town we go into.
I like it.
The one time I did that was in a GURPS game where I would go out with the play. No, I was playing, and we would go out and we would discuss something, and not so the other player wouldn't hear it. And we were together. I was a wizard, and he was something else, and we were like basically scheming against each other, but we were in a new world, so we didn't know what was happening, so always new stuff was happening, so we had to kind of work together, but we were also scheming against each other. So it's kind of fun. I would do that again.
Hey, what game are you running, Sean, for Brigade Con?
Brigade Con, I'm running, of course, Action Hero Fighter, Death Maze, and I have been invited, invited to run, the Cortex,
Firefly?
Firefly, yeah.
That's what it was, because I seen on there that they said you were running something, and I was like, and they got you for down as D&D for Death Maze.
Yeah.
Margaret Weiss is awesome to deal with too. Like they're a great company.
So for some reason they put for Death Maze D&D 5th edition. It's not D&D 5th edition.
I know. They put Palladium Fantasy for me, and it's not.
Super Spies.
No, they put it in for me because I was going to run it if Palladium sponsored it.
Yeah, and now
and I said
Wizards
no.
aren't, so
unless they sponsor it.
No.
Yeah. And so they didn't sponsor it. At least I haven't heard that they were going to.
Juve's working on it, man.
I need to figure out the time.
He's getting a bunch of memorabilia too, apparently.
Between his napping and his player killing, he has a campaign going to get Palladium sponsorship.
Right. What was it? I need to just figure out the time for the Firefly game, and I want to do it like basically literally just all original characters and spaghetti western in space. It's like Sergio Leone in space. Like everybody should, well not should, but will most likely play like some bastard.
That's the way to do it.
It's gonna be the bad, the worst, but ugly, something like that.
You never want to do it where you use like the pre-gen that's the actual Serenity crew, because it always devolves into like the same players just trying to rehash lines from the TV show.
And it's always either that's the best ending. And the worst, you have the canon lawyers speak, no, Captain blah 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 wouldn't do that. Oh, and it's like, oh my God, why did I allow that? As NPCs, they might work, but not as player characters. Unless the only way this can work, the players agree to do it their own way. You take the characters and they make it their own, and nobody gives anybody any trouble. Okay, nobody complains. Then it can work, but most of the time it doesn't work.
Mitchell would play in Nara.
What?
I said Mitchell would be in Nara, guaranteed.
That's in Nara again. I haven't watched Firefly in so long.
That's the consort.
Oh, okay.
The female concubine.
Oh, okay. Oh. And he would have a long name with something and Keeper of the Flame. Anyway, yeah. But no, I need to figure that out, and once I have that, I'm gonna post it up, and then hopefully I can get enough players for that. But
I bet they'll swarm it because it's fairly popular.
yeah.
You're talking about for Brigade Con?
Brigade Con, yeah. I'm running now 2 games, so.
Oh wow. Skip that, man. That's too much work.
No, Action Hero Fighter is going to be fairly easy, I think, because the way how that game works, it's like, it's pretty short and everything, so. I don't know. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I think it's cool to do like a sponsored game. I never did that, so.
Oh, yeah.
So why not?
Right.
Yeah,
So what campaign should I run?
What campaign? For Brigade Con, you mean?
No, I'm talking about campaign, possibly
Okay.
online.
How long are you gonna do it, Juice?
What's this?
I don't
What's
know.
this?
Oh, I said it earlier. I'm thinking about running a campaign online.
Right.
As long as it includes safe word, I support it.
No, that's not one of the games.
Oh, 5th edition, so he can play safe word. That sounds like the right choice.
I will
It would
play
be-
as safe word.
It would either be 5th edition, Rifts, Heroes Unlimited, or Palladium Fantasy.
He can play safe word the goblin, and I'll play a satyr that's a sadist.
I personally would say like Rift. I mean, D&D 5th edition would be the least work, but Rifts can be really fun. Honestly, I've been having a blast just running it.
Run something different, man. Run something that nobody's running right now.
Yeah, like run something different. Run Paranoia. Well, that's not good for
I'm not
campaign.
gonna buy a game to run it though. That's
No,
the
I
problem.
mean-
It's gonna be. Yeah. What do you think, Robert? Like Heroes
Buffy the
Unlimited or
Vampire
something?
Slayer.
Or what are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, heroes would be cool, but I don't know.
If you would do a Heroes Unlimited game and it would be a campaign, I might even consider joining it because but a straight up like superhero, something like that. I
Mhm.
would join that.
I'll play
Werewolf.
anything, but I'm not buying any books, so someone else has to create a character for me.
Yeah, we'd make Andrew do it for you.
I can make you a character. You tell me what you want. Like you want to go with a Punisher or like more like a, I don't know, like Superman or something.
We would do
Oh, never
character
Superman.
creation in a chat, so we could just do it through a
that,
chat.
yeah, or that.
That's how we would do it, and that way, because I'd have the books, other people would have the books, and so we would just do it in a chat.
Okay.
So that way, everybody would know what everyone's playing. We could say you're all together at the start. You don't have to come up with some bullshit, far stretched out,
Yeah,
nonsensical way of coming together.
I
Yeah.
do it the same way. You just know each other. It always fixes so many problems.
What about
Yeah.
Shadowrun, Juice?
Oh, I would totally. That's something.
Nope, I don't own it. I own the free RPG Day version of it, but no, fuck that.
I own the core book, but it's in Hungarian in physical form. Like I want to run Shadowrun. But
I have third.
first.
I have third edition.
I have third edition too. I have it in Hungarian. Like, if somebody would run Shadowrun as a campaign,
I will. Well, I don't know about a campaign, but I'm definitely gonna be running a one shot.
mini campaign, well, my one shot, that could work too.
Is that what you need, Juice? Do you need a donation of the book to run it?
And time. I guess, okay, here, if someone will buy me whatever game that I don't own, I guess I would do it then, but you're restricted to whatever the book is that I would end up owning.
Call of Cthulhu.
I would get the PDF.
You don't want me trying to run a smart game, though. I'm just letting you know. Like, Call of Cthulhu would suck with me running it.
He runs Vampire the Masquerade, and it's like, Blade.
Yeah, it would be.
That's all of us walking around in nightclubs wearing trench coats. The same
That's how I
costumes.
would run it.
Or
It would be all
Underworld.
assassinites. Everybody would be an assassinite, or something like that. Like the way how I would run Vampire the Masquerade, people who like Vampire the Masquerade wouldn't like my game because I would say we want to set kind of a power level, and then you do what you want to do. Like fuck the Masquerade. We just gonna like fuck each other. Yeah, as you said, it's gonna be Blade. That's what it's gonna be. Or Underworld. And they're
Yeah.
not gonna like it. They're not gonna like it.
The Masquerade. Fuck the Masquerade. I hate the Masquerade.
Like you have all these cool powers, right, as a vampire, and you're like, why can't you just fuck shit up then?
It was the same way. Like when I played Mage, I always said, fuck Paradox. I just go out and cast magic in front of people. And they'd be like, it's not a good idea, dude.
Actually, the idea, the way how it would be cool, and I don't know if you could make it work. It would be probably too much work. But if you would have, vampire, and you would have the vampires do what they want, even if they break the masquerade. But then you have the hunters, right? I'm not even that familiar with the setting or the game. I never played it. I only know it vaguely. But you would have the hunters, and they would be other players, right? And you could have kind of make a semi-living campaign where you would have sometimes the hunters, and you would have a session with the hunters where the vampires do something, okay, and then you play a game with the hunters, and that happens there. So eventually they will come together and fight, kind of like in the Avengers, kind of like it would be Vampires Avengers. I think too much also, like Juice said, they wouldn't like it. There's not enough politics.
I know what I'm okay at, and I know what I suck at, I guess is my thing.
I'm the same way. Like
So it would be
I'm
Hawk Fang, Iron Vamp.
Iron Vamp. There you go. Captain Blood
Oh, yeah,
Erica.
trinket time.
Captain Dracula. There we go.
Here's a possibility. You could do a World of Darkness game where it's like the Gehenna scenario, like end of the world scenario. So you have like you can have like a vampire, a werewolf, a mage, like go through and have like a mixed party.
I think that would be cool. I'd totally play that.
I don't know, man. Doesn't appeal.
What I would do, actually, it's funny because a lot of people said how bad the Street Fighter storyteller game is, and I read it, and it's like, this is so stupid gonzo shit, and honestly, I would totally want to run it. I want to have the players fight M. Bison because his stats are fucking hilariously bad. Let's fucking fight M. Bison.
As
I will
long as
totally
I can
do
yell,
music.
hit tick Shuriken every time I
Like-
attack something, I'm in.
It's gonna get old in 5 seconds when people say Hadouken.
Dude, it'd be awesome for a one-shot.
Totally one shot, not a campaign. That's not a campaign. That's like.
Unless you were a fan of the movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was a dumb movie, yes, but for an adaptation of a video game that had already a dumb story, it was fun. It was dumb fun.
Did you see
There
the
was
Japanese?
nothing bad about that movie except for everything, which made it awesome.
Honestly, when it comes to the adaptation, a lot of the characters were actually very close. I think if they could have just made a simpler story where it's just like a kumite, like just but they wanted to make a big like. But the thing was the game was already very cheesy. So what did people expect? I mean, you
Dude, the
have
game was
literally,
awesome. There was nothing cheesy about it.
It had Vega, so I was happy.
It was
Yeah,
pretty, it was
I
pretty
I
cheesy,
love
though.
Street Fighter, but it is cheesy and unrealistic. But that what makes
It
it fun.
is.
So
I mean, yeah, Street Fighter 2 is the masterstroke. It's the best fighting game in my opinion, of all the fighting games.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that is my favorite. I like Street Fighter, but Turbo is the best. Not Super, Turbo.
Yeah.
It's good.
I used to love it when somebody was jumping and you punched them in the foot and it was like a knockout. Punching them in the foot.
Yeah, and then it would go in slow motion.
That's more my style.
So I like that too. I hate the PlayStation 3 online crap they just came out with though for Soul Calibur.
I remember going to the arcade and like playing people in Street Fighter 2 and having people like take their hats off and put them over the joystick so you can't see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
Did
they're
people really do
like,
that?
Ricotta's.
I never saw that.
I never saw that either.
Yeah, they get like really like you could go to like a local arcade in Jackson and people get into fist fights over Street Fighter. You could have
Oh, dude,
arcades.
I remember going
So,
into arcades and you had
we're getting
lines
into
to play
street
Mortal
fights
Kombat,
over Street
and the
Fighter.
winner got to stay and loser had to go to the end of the line.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that shit, man. It was crazy. Those were the good old days.
The only thing I ever played at the arcade was the Simpsons game.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
This was They got into street fights because of Street Fighter. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's all those damn
Working as
fun video
intended.
games.
Right.
Honestly, what was it? I think I want I want to play the Storyteller Street Fighter game as like a goofy one shot.
I think I got like a D20 version of Street Fighter somewhere on my computer.
But it's I don't know, like I just want to try out the Storyteller system, and it's kind of funny that I want to start it with probably their worst system.
A fighting game, a
Because
storytelling
then
fighting.
if I get into werewolf or vampire, it's gonna be like, hey, this is much better. It's like I went through the shit. But you know what? I probably will enjoy the Street Fighter game just for the setting alone. But it's like whatever. I mean, fucking like I don't know how I would do it. If I would maybe have it so that the players make original characters and the other characters are the enemies, and we do the fights, and then in between
Ninjas and Super Spies being set up for a tournament, we need to like adapt that to all sorts of different things. To Mortal Kombat, to Street Fighter, to pro wrestling, but use the Ninjas and Super Spies basic game and just tweak it a lot.
That's what my game for freaking Brigade Con is, man.
I know,
Johnny
man.
Millennium's ready. He's already a Street Fighter. Not up for street fighting.
I don't even remember what. Old drunk bastard or whatever.
Yeah,
Isn't
Old
that
drunk baller.
Yeah,
yeah,
old
old drunk baller.
baller. That's what
It changed a couple times that night.
Yeah, I think it did too. I couldn't help it.
Oh, DB.
I wasn't all there.
Yeah, but I think that would Ninjas and Super Spies and all of the fighting game characters
Mm-hmm.
from every game ever.
I could be Chaozu.
And if you want
No.
every fighting game
No.
ever, this is gonna be
No
crazy.
Pokemon. No self-destruct.
Oh, no Pokemon.
Oh, I hate when they do that.
That's not even. That's I will accept
Gina,
that it's
a Pokemon.
but it's definitely not a fighting game. So
You remember Pit Fighter?
Pit Fighter, yeah. You remember Clay Fighter? Remember
Yes.
that?
Yes.
I will play Frosty. That's my character. Frosty is fucking awesome, but with the cap because that makes it super 90s. I'm gonna play Full Gore or Saber Wolf from Killer Instinct or some shit like that.
Streets of Rage, baby.
Orchid.
Streets
Oh,
of Rage is awesome, but that is scrolling beat 'em up. That is different because
So
you
what?
go and you beat
It's got the Ultimate Warrior. I don't give a damn.
the green Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, he's red in parts of it too.
Well, I think
Final
when you
Fight
first
is better.
encounter him, he's red, and then later on you fight the green Ultimate Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then you fight the two at the same time.
yeah. Streets of Rage is awesome. I love that. I love scrolling beat 'em ups, one-on-one beat 'em ups. It's cool.
So it played like Turtles 2 and 3.
I had Turtles 2, the
Yeah.
arcade game for the NES. I loved that. Me and my brother would play the shit out of that.
Yeah, because no one ever beat the first Turtles game. It was always Turtles 2 and 3.
You can beat it. It's possible, but it's fucking.
It's like a
never liked it
maze.
that
The
much.
way they do it, you gotta like go drive your truck around.
Oh,
You're
that's
talking
fun.
about the very first one where you go into the sewers,
Yeah.
where it's like a
Yeah.
top-down view.
That's
That
a
game was
horrible
fucking
game.
hard.
All I know is that I remember is the what is it
The
when you
swimming
fight
stage.
Rocksteady? When you fight Rocksteady, you gotta get Donatello, and when he comes, you gotta jump up, and you gotta
Oh yeah.
down with the staff and just cheese the shit out of it. Because those NES games, you gotta cheese it. You cannot be fair because they won't
Nope.
be fair. You're gonna
Yeah, you gotta start off using like Raphael and Michelangelo because they're useless,
They're
Yep.
useless because they're like,
and then Donatello's like your last life. That's the last one you should use.
Donatello is like the best because his fucking staff, you can like just hit
Yeah.
them from. Like,
And then when
10
you
miles
died, you
away.
could rescue him, right? At certain points, wasn't that how it worked?
Yeah. When they
Yep.
wouldn't die because it was like friendly, they would get kidnapped. That was the
Yep.
story.
Then he'll be tied up and you get them later.
But Turtles 2, the arcade game. Now that was the game. That was fucking. It was based on the arcade game. Well, that's in the title. But we had the NES game. Me and my brother. That was our Turtles game. Like the first one, we didn't even. We had the second one.
There was the one on the beach where you're like surfing, and then like the buildings are on
Yeah.
fire.
That was two, yeah.
And you had the Foot Clan on surfboards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had some
It
bosses.
was
that
based on the
never-
cartoon. That's why.
Yeah. Well, it
Whereas
was.
the first one was
partially
based on the comic book.
The second, yeah, yeah, pretty much. Well, they had. I don't know if they had Bebop and Rocksteady in the comic book. The first
they
one.
did.
No.
Yeah, they did. They were in the comic book.
What? Yeah, I think they were actually.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome because
No,
you could
they
actually
weren't in
play
the comic
4-player.
book. You know why they weren't in the comic book? They might have been in the Archie comic book, which is based off the cartoon. Because the reason why they weren't in the comic book, because in the second Turtles movie, Eastman and Lard were complaining because the producers wanted Bebop and Rocksteady, and they said no, we don't want Bebop and Rocksteady because they're not in the comic book, and they said okay, instead we'll make new characters, and then they made Taka and Reza, and they accepted that. I'll check that wiki. Maybe you guys are right, but I don't think that.
I
Bebop
could
and
have swore they were.
I don't think that they're in the comic book. I know Baxter Stockman is from the comic book, and he was originally black in the comic book, and then made him white in the
Yep.
cartoon.
Because I thought I even saw some original artwork recently of Bebop and Rocksteady not looking the way they do in the cartoons.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. What's that guy's name? The Aardvark.
Okay, here it is. Here, Bebop and Rocksteady are two fictional characters in the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series and the Archie TMNT Adventure comics, which are based off the cartoon. as well most of the classic TMNT video games. So apparently, it doesn't say that they first appearance. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 TV series. They're not from the comic book.
Gotcha. That sucks.
But they're pretty cool. I love Bebop and Rocksteady. They're awesome. They're like the perfect two bumbling.
Which one's which?
Sidekick.
Without cheating.
Bebop is the pig guy, and Rocksteady is the rhino guy.
Rhino.
I had their toys.
I always got confused. Me too.
Yeah. They're fucking
Well,
awesome.
I had the Rhino. I did not have.
They're like Beastman and Trapjaw. It's just the perfect idiot, minions.
This would be an awesome one-shot. Ninja Turtles, but everyone plays a Ninja Turtle or Casey Jones or whatever.
I play Leonardo or Casey Jones. Everybody can go.
I play enough hockey that I think I should play Casey Jones.
Or Osagi Imbo. I'll accept that.
Someone
Oh
can be
no,
Splinter.
that's my man.
There we go. Okay, you can be Osagi Imbo if I can be Leonardo.
So you could have the 4 Ninja Turtles, Casey
Right.
Jones,
You gotta have Casey Jones.
April, and then you could have Splinter. So you could have up to 7 players.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, except for April.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
I remember her action figure didn't even have. She had like a camera as a.
Some really big, stupid-looking camera.
And I was like, okay, I had her, but I was like, I rather wanted a foot soldier, and I never could find a foot soldier for some reason. I'm like,
Only if he cosplays it.
yeah, there we go.
Jumpsuit and all.
Oh,
Who in the cartoons? I always liked that guy. What was his name? Tunnel Rat or something?
You
Rat
were
King.
The Rat King. Rat
Rat
King. He
King.
was cool.
Freaking sweet.
I
Yep.
think the Rat King is actually based off a Batman villain. I always remember there was a Batman villain who actually was
Really?
called Batman. Yeah.
It's not based off of a real Rat King for sure, because that's just disgusting.
Where the rats like fused together.
Yeah.
Rat King was pretty cool. I liked him.
You know what I should do? This is stupid, but I'm going to go and look at the old Ninja Turtles cartoon, make my daughter watch it, and as she's watching it, I'm going to take notes and make monsters for D&D and other games, all based on the bad guys in Ninja Turtles, and run a campaign for some people and see how long it takes them to realize it's from Ninja Turtles.
I do it, dude. I watch Scooby-Doo and fucking steal plot points.
That's
I
awesome.
feel all this. I actually wanted to make a. I think somebody made already turtle humanoid races, and I wanted to make basically literally the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And the third movie sucked ass, but I did like the idea. The one idea I liked about that, how they called them the Taka, not the Taka, that mythical creature from Japanese folklore.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's what I would call the race, right? But
The
they would be the
Kappa
Ninja
something.
Turtles. The Kappa, that says the Kappa.
Yeah,
And
Kappa.
but you know what you could do? Actually, they have frog humanoids, right? Shredder actually mutated 4 frogs because he wanted to make the anti-turtles, and he actually made a team of frogs
That became the Super Nintendo game. See, there's my water damage, by the way, Ogre.
Oh,
That was
what's
before
that
I
from?
got it, though.
Oh, the turtles. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah, and then it's doing that typical Palladium peeling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that too with the.
But the book's actually not in bad shape. It's just old.
Ah,
This one's the 11th printing from July 1990.
I need to
Okay,
get that
well,
book. I need to get that book bad. I'm gonna buy one off of Amazon or something.
Yeah, you'll have to.
I need to do it because fucking Casey Jones. Like when I was a kid, I loved Casey Jones. I would beat up
Me too.
everybody with Casey Jones.
What I should do, because I don't have any interest in using this to create characters or anything, I should just scan all the pages I want and then sell it. That's what I should do. Get rid
Right.
of it that way.
Bam.
Because
I
I
don't
think
know.
I would only use it for one-shots, or if somebody wanted to do a TMNT campaign as the Ninja Turtles.
I would make actually characters because they would be like the other mutants, because it's
Screw
have
that.
other mutants.
I have no interest. I have no interest in playing a bunch of animals unless it's an animal I don't know.
Now, as far
That's
as
just me, though.
As far as taking the turtles bad guys and bringing them into the world of D&D, you can easily do that just by reskinning any of the wares. The were
Yeah.
rabbits.
There's also
Oh,
many.
Is there a
There's
were
actually
rabbit? There should
many
be a were
races
rabbit.
also.
Jack
Yeah, also
aware.
like human-like animal races. So you can. It's pretty easy to do, honestly. You're right. But I don't know. Like I remember in the very first episode of Turtles when they made Bebop and Rocksteady, and when they were failing, and they wanted to make New Mutants. I remember they had plans to make more, and they wanted to make like a Cobra dude.
See, that would have been cool.
Like when I was a kid, I was like, anything Cobra is awesome, you know, or Wolf, or
That's because you watched Karate Kid, and they were the Cobra Kai dojo.
Cobra Kai, yeah.
They were
And-
awesome.
And fucking Daniel-san, all he does is the kata and like, oh, I win.
Oh, I got a lucky kick! Oh,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, I did it, Mr. Miyagi, I did it.
I did it!
He doesn't have Mr. Miyagi to save him, you know. Rocky Balboa doesn't have Mr. Miyagi to save him. You know, he has to finish the fight himself. He's gonna finish the fight. Do a little kata, you know, whatever.
The worst was Karate Kid 3, because in that shit, LaRusso's a little bitch the entire movie,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, he has like a breakdown during the tournament, and Miyagi bails him out with a little pep talk, and he manages to win.
There is a movie that was Karate Kid, but made it better. In Germany, it was called Karate Tiger. In America, it's
That
known
sounds
as,
even worse.
well, but it was actually better. It was No Retreat, No Surrender.
Oh
And there-
yeah.
Is that the one where they
and they're the guy.
stuff to their knuckles?
No, that's another Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Because
Dude,
that's
that's a horrible.
Bloodsport's sweet.
Bloodsport is not. I mean, for a martial arts movie, it's
I
actually.
freaking love that movie.
Dude,
Yeah, that is the
watch
original
Bloodsport.
Street Fighter. Every fighting game is based off of Bloodsport because that's what it is. Kumai.
Yep.
Watch Bloodsport, then watch the real guy that claims to be Frank Dukes, and then proceed to shake your head for a solid 4 hours because of how big of a scam it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The only thing
Like-
I remember of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies is
What do you mean, Andrew? I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Have you looked into it at all, Juice?
Hell no. I just watched Bloodsport and thought it was sweet.
So that entire story, Frank Dukes claims actually happened to him, and he's like some sleazy strip mall martial artist.
Does he have a
Like-
mullet?
McDojo, man.
I don't know if he does or not. He made up his own martial arts system, though. He has like all these funky ass belts with like psychedelic colors striped on them, and he has like positions called Dragon and stuff. You have to go check it out. It's wild.
Oh, jeez.
But I'll say this: I don't care. It's probably not real, but the movie is awesome. Like when it comes to Van Damme movies, that's one of his best, if not the best.
I would agree with that.
Bloodsport, yeah. He did the split with the chairs and stuff. Yeah, come on, that's awesome.
Yeah. He always does the split. That's his thing. Actually, you know that Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat is based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's
Yep.
why he does the dick punch and he goes into the splits.
Yep.
Even his name, you know, Johnny Cage, Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know, he's an actor who's been said that he cannot do martial arts, that he's just an actor, but he actually does, and he's proving himself going in Mortal Kombat's genius. You know, it's actually makes a lot of sense. They just made him American instead of Belgian,
Yeah.
so.
And Raiden was based off of one of the guys from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
Raiden.
definitely, you're right. Yeah, and Liu Kang is basically Bruce Lee.
Yep.
Except he's not, because you can't make Bruce Lee.
Fai Long is based off of Bruce Lee. What is it in Tekken?
Don't lie, Raiden is Bruce Lee, man.
no,
Yeah,
Oh, it's
as a
Liu Kang.
god.
no. No.
Bruce Lee's, dude, Bruce Lee's the best. Can we all agree?
Not
Bruce Lee is the
not
best.
not Christopher Lambert's finest hour of cinema, by the way. Raiden. Like I love the guy, but
He wasn't a great actor ever. He had Highlander, which was awesome. He wasn't a great actor, but you know what? I liked it because I always came up with the theory after that. You know, what is it? Connor McLeod won the prize and became Raiden, and he time traveled back into the past and just to troll people. So actually,
Man.
Raiden is Connor McLeod.
that Highlander would have been so much better if that's the way it ended.
Yeah, he becomes Raiden. How cool would that have been?
And-
Because it's always lightning, right? Like, quickening is always lightning. Think about it. Raiden's power is like lightning and shit. So
Who
he
was
was
it
cool.
that kills him? Who kills Christopher Lambert in Highlander? I can't remember.
Actually, it's Duncan MacLeod in the fourth movie, but they always reboot. Like they always change the every sequel always gets rebooted. Like the second one was then ignored when they did the third one, and then the third one got ignored for the fourth one. The fourth one actually continued after the series, so you had a continuation where you had the first movie, the series, and you had the fourth movie, which was horrible. But it was still there was some good ideas in it, but they kind of fucked up. They fucked up actually quite a lot. They broke also one of the biggest rules that they fought on Holy Ground, where he says, "Screw the rules." I'm like, dude, have you seen the first movie? I would have gone up to him in the movie and said, "Look at the first movie. Look what happens when they clink the swords. God gets pissed. That is the thing. God gets pissed. I don't care if you're immortal. You don't fuck with that shit."
It's those movies always had like the same formula too. Like
Yeah.
like McLeod's just like some pathetic old. Well, after the first one, he's some pathetic like middle-aged man. Then he finds like some hot young piece of ass. Reveal is they have like a short little love sequence, and he goes out and decapitates somebody. Rinse and repeat.
Well, wait. I don't know. Connor in the second one, that one that's the worst Highlander movie. Even worse than the fifth one, and that's saying a lot. Like Source, that one is so bad. But the second one is bad because they try to make it science fiction-y, and they just no. The first one is great. I mean, it's a very simple storyline, but it's also the Masquerade, So I don't know. Maybe even the World of Darkness got some ideas from that.
Was number 2? Was that the Quickening?
That's the Quickening. Yes, that's the shittening.
I only appreciate Sean Connery. I think he was in one.
He was in one, and he was actually in 2. They somehow he really needed money, so he was in 2. But he was also in Zardos, so. But 3 was okay. It was better than 2, definitely. It's actually, when it comes to the way how I write Highlander is like, you have the first movie, then you have the series, if you count that. I think that one is really good, and I rate that afterwards. Like, that's the best sequel, so to speak. Then you have the third movie, which stands alone as a standalone sequel. I like that one. That one's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's good. And then after that, you have the fourth one, which has a lot of problems, but it's somewhat watchable still, if you're a big fan. And then you have the fifth movie, which is just dog shit, and the second one, which is just even worse dog shit. So.
Which is the equivalent to Rocky V with Tommy Gunn.
Yeah, exactly.
Garbage movie.
The worst.
Yeah, and I love the Rocky movies.
I like the first 2.
If he dies, he dies.
The first, you know which one is talking about Rocky? I just recently watched Real Steel, and it reminded me of Rocky with robots. It was Robot Rocky. GURPS, there we go.
Yep.
That's a
Real
great
Steel,
movie.
I don't know. That was it reminded me of. It was a lot like also. Have you ever seen Over the Top?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so
driving,
awesome.
arm wrestling.
80s cheese, because it's the same setup. Like you have this dad, although it's a little bit different, because in Over the Top he tries to connect with his son. In Real Steel he's just a jerk, right? And then they get to connect with each other. But that starts like with Over the Top, and then they find a sport together and they do that. And then it becomes like Rocky, and it was very cheesy, but it felt like also very positive and well done, actually. Like it felt like the movie could recreate the whole 80s positivity without feeling like a parody,
Right.
It was getting close sometimes, but they still avoided it. It was good. I think it was good.
Man, Over the Top, the movie that's just all Sylvester Stallone doing arm wrestling sequences where he's like,
every time Stallone is like, he's like focusing, it's like, every time, everywhere, with his nose bent all over.
As the film progresses, it's like he had a stroke and he like lost control of half of his face.
Maybe that is the reason. Then I don't want to joke about it.
Yeah, now I kind of feel bad because that makes a ridiculous amount of sense.
Yeah. Now he just like has all this plastic surgery and it looks weird. Like I haven't seen the third Expendables because I felt like the second one was kind of funny, especially when they were making Chuck Norris jokes. But I can wait till this is on DVD or Netflix. I don't need to see this in the movie theaters.
I
But
want to
when
see
they were
Chuck Norris versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
man, I did like in the second one where you
They're
had
both going to die of a heart attack.
where Van Damme was the villain and
Steven
he was
Seagal?
like Claude Villain, and they actually said that he has a twin brother, possibly Jean Villain. And
Double Impact.
double impact, yeah. This is actually not the only movie where he has like a double, which is weird.
Jean's in good shape still. Like he's been putting out videos of him training in the gym.
Yeah, he did this weird split video, this ad where he's on the car.
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That is pretty crazy. So I don't know if this was CGI, but didn't look like it. But he also looks kind of weird. You see he's old, but you know what? Let him do still movies. They can be still fun. Whatever. He's still ripped for what is he in the 60s? Fuck,
Yeah, he's gotta be.
He's got to be, like I don't know, like I never thought he was a great actor, but he was a fun. I call those action heroes, those are the that's what I base action hero fighter on. That's what I grew up with, I grew up with Arnie, with Stallone, with Bruce Lee, of course, and what is it, fucking Clint Eastwood and
Oh,
even
dude, Clint Eastwood. I'm a Clint Eastwood freak.
Clint Eastwood is like, I always imagined, the whole Expendables is actually, the Justice League of action heroes, and it should have been much better as they did it. But, like, I always imagined when you had the Justice League of action heroes, Clint Eastwood would be the Clint Eastwood and Bruce Lee, they would be the old guys, and they said, so you're the guys who are trying to replace us, huh? And, like, I will show you how it's done, idiots, something like that. He would be like the Nick Fury or something, the leader or something,
Man, he's just good. I remember watching Gran Torino after not seeing him for a while, and it just like blew me away. It was so fucking good.
He's actually a good actor and a better even director. Like Gran Torino is a legit good film. And
That is awesome.
but I love his old stuff. I love his Western stuff. I love Dirty Harry. Fucking Dirty Harry. That's what was it? Then you have with Death Wish. I just recently saw Death Wish with Charles Bronson, who cannot like show emotion, but it's like Death Wish was fun, but it was like Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry never shows a facial emotion ever for anything. It's like your woman just got raped and killed, and your daughter went insane, and I'm like, I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm gonna give bloody vengeance on those assholes. And even Dirty Harry was mad. It's like, make my day. He's gonna fuck you up, dude. He's gonna fuck you up.
They come into a bank. He's just like standing around and he's like, "Hey, give us all your money." It's like, "We're not gonna let you do that." Who's we? Me and Smith and Wesson.
I just loved how in every movie it ends with him throwing away his badge, and I'm like, how the fuck does he get his badge again? Seriously, he just committed. He does okay. He kills the bad guy, but he still does a crime. How the hell? It's vigilantism and taking the law in his own hand. And yes, the guy is a sick fuck murderer, but that's the point of the movie, I guess. The wish fulfillment. In a sense.
That's why I liked him in the movie Unforgiven, because they didn't let him have his cake and eat it too. In that movie, he just he's a bastard the entire movie, and at the end, he just gets punished for it.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's one I want to see, so.
How are you supposed to eat your cake if you don't have it?
Alright. I think that was the last Western movie he did. And I think that was cool that he ended well. Because in reality, you do vigilantism, you'll get caught, so.
They haven't caught me yet.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I've got a lot of his westerns. I've got like Pale Rider, Outlaw Josie Wales, all the spaghetti western trilogy, like the Dower trilogy,
Yeah.
Hang 'em High.
There's so many good ones. Like there's I especially love spaghetti westerns. That's a setting for role playing games that I really wanna. I only played one western game. I want to play more
Isn't
westerns.
there a Savage Worlds Western game?
Yeah, there is one. They even had a GURPS version of it. It's called what is it? Badlands. I'm not sure.
Or Deadlands or something?
Deadlands. There it is.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Rifts game I'm running because that's a new West, so it's pretty much a Western game, but you got all the Rifts craziness to it. So
Yeah, I have, what is it, Machinations, Machinations of Doom or something, and it's about, I think it's in Texas. It's like a comic turned RPG game. But it's by Palladium, obviously.
there was a guy I remember, one of the first guys I watched that did RPG videos other than Gentleman Gamer, and I forgot his name, but he stopped doing it. But I remember when he started making his own RPG, and it was a Western game. And that's one I want to try out actually because it looked really cool. It was very rules light, but he based it off what is it? Call of Juarez. He had a lot of the weapons there and stuff, and it was very fast paced and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably make like a spaghetti western kind of thing, and I want to do like a straight western, no weird western stuff. Just straight western, and like have all them. Everybody's just. Everybody's
Robbing trains, robbing banks, shitting in the woods.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm expecting there's going to be one guy who's going to be the typical mountain man dude, Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Bud Spencer or there, but he was always the mountain man dude with a small hat and a big bear fur.
The Navajo Joe sort of character.
Well, you have those two. That one, the bear trapper dude is more like a trapper, who knows the Native Americans, but
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. We would probably have at least one or two Indians too. So, I don't know. Just feels like it would be appropriate. But
You have to have a sandstorm of some sort.
yeah, definitely. You gotta have some kind of treasure that is like hidden and shit. Like, I don't know. It would be like
One-Eyed Willie.
we gotta have a Mexican
Sloth. Hey, you go!
I'm always a fan of the Django movies. I don't know if you know Django with Franco Nero. That one is cool too. And it spawned a bunch of like copycats that also called it. Man, I don't know. I never liked the very clean cut Western movies. Like what is it? Like a Buffalo Bill or something like that. The early stuff.
Yeah, those are boring.
It just felt like, oh, I'm the good guy and I'm the bad guy, and I'm like. The spaghetti westerns, like everybody's somehow the bad guy. That's the whole point of the good, the bad, the ugly. Nobody's perfect on that one.
Yeah, movies like True Grit, like a lot of the John Wayne movies.
Oh yeah, John Wayne is awesome. Like John Wayne started in the very classic western, but then the more his career went on, I like when he's an old guy. When John Wayne is an old guy, he's like. Why wasn't there a John Wayne Clint Eastwood movie? Like the most manliest western ever. Just machismo overflowing, Like no bullshit or anything.
Did you ever hear about him playing in that Bible movie, John Wayne?
I know he played Genghis Khan, which is really weird because like you're the whitest dude possible in Hollywood. Why would you play a Mongol leader, Oh, because you cannot have any Asian people. You're like, it was a racist time, but whatever.
They tell a story about him called The Story of Awe. He played in like a Bible story movie, and he was one of the Roman legionnaires at the end during the crucifixion. And
Okay.
they go to shoot it, and his line is, "Truly, this was the Son of God." And they wrap it up, and the director's like, "Yeah, that was really good, John, but I want you to do it again. And I want you to do it with a little bit more awe, show some inspiration." So John's like, "Okay, I think I can do that." They go back, they flip it, they go, "All right, John, let's shoot." Oh, truly, this was the Son of God.
Is that
And it's
real?
it's a real story. He did it.
Wow. And did he play the legionnaire that then used the spear to impale Jesus, and then he became like that became the holy spear?
Oh,
Did
like Longness? Yeah, I think he
Longinus,
was.
yeah, because didn't that legionnaire? I don't know. Like, there's another story to that, but yeah,
He got sainthood in some
yeah,
traditions.
yeah. It's kind of funny because he actually impaled Jesus and he got sainthood. Oh well, I'm not even gonna even go there. But yeah, fucking Western game would be awesome.
Like
Yeah.
Spanish Western, to where everyone dies with a gut shot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it depends on the Spanish. Well, you're probably right, actually. No, you're right. You're right, probably. I've
Except
seen
for the main bad guy. The main bad guy is the only one who doesn't die because of a gut shot.
the spaghetti westerns. Often they get headshots, and it's funny. But I've seen actually one that was not set in America. It has this guy, the Italian guy, Terrence Hill, and him with Bud Spencer, they were in a lot of these Western movies and stuff. But he was in his early time. There was one he was in. I don't know if you know, maybe Trinity Rides Again, or My Name Is Nobody. That's the Terrence Hill guy. And he played in a Western movie which was set in Spain, in Andalusia, actually, in very southern Spain. But it still felt like a Western. It was still 19th century, and he played an assassin. And the cool thing was, the movie ended with him. He still killed the bad guy and whatever, but it ended with him being assassinated by other assassins. You know, it wasn't a happy ending. You know, but is it still a Western if it's not set in America? That's the question. You know.
Right.
Because it felt totally like a Western, you know. But is it still a Western? Because the whole point of Western is it's set in 19th century America. That's literally the definition. Between what is it, 1850 and 1890 or 1900, that era, those 50 years, more or less.
All right.
Maybe
I'm gonna wrap up the broadcast, but you guys can obviously stay and talk and all that afterwards.
right.
So yeah, I'm dead.
Thanks for inviting